right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I hope you guys can hear me and the mic isn't too messed up.
Can hear you loud and clear, Captain.
All right, cool. So, we're going to talk about a few things today, but we are going to go over the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. We're going to talk about the Owen Hart tournament since they kind of coincide with each other. And we're going to go over some things in the news that we've been looking at, the WWE lawsuit and why they have a lawsuit. I'm going to try and explain that as quickly as possible without dragging it out too much, and then explain why it could possibly be getting settled. At least that's from what I read. Um, we're also going to talk about some of the best matches that we've seen for this year. Um, Kevin Knight and Mike Speedball Bailey's match, and of course the big match with El Grande Americano OG and the more beloved El Grande Americano having this really cool match in AAA that was awesome. It's now one of the highest viewed matches in WWE history. We're going to talk all about that. And we're going to go over some TNA stuff because TNA just had some releases and they've got some talent issues as well, some conflict of interest, if you will. But we're going to go over it and we're going to get that out the way now because it's necessary. And it's the smallest
Mm-hmm.
of the stories that we have. So, Steve Macklin and Myla Grace were both released from TNA. As of this morning, it was completed. From my understanding, Steve Macklin had requested his release. I'm not quite sure about Myla Grace, but Steve Macklin asked to be released, which, to be honest with you, I can't blame him. From what I hear, a lot of talent works in TNA. They're paid by the day. They don't necessarily have contracts unless it is presented to them. Like some people may have a
Mm-hmm.
contract, like AJ Francis may have a contract, whereas someone like Cedric Alexander may not have a contract, but because he's champion, he may be under a different deal. It varies depending on the wrestler. Okay. But according to postwrestling.com, it says that Macklin posted um, that he requested his release from TNA last week. He said he put his blood, sweat, and tears into everything he's done over the last 5 years. He'll always be thankful for his time there. But now it's time to stack bodies. He says, see you soon. Now, Macklin has been with TNA since 2021. It was right after he left WWE. He was Steve Cutler in WWE as the Forgotten Sons with Wesley Blake and Jackson Riker. Now, if you don't know how that actually went down, I'll give you a quick history. Riker got caught up in a bunch of shit during the pandemic era. The Forgotten Sons were supposed to be heading up with Riker, and they were all supposed to have this faction. Because of Riker and all his bullshit, this cut the Forgotten Sons completely. Now, they kept them at first, had them stay with Corbin. And I guess that didn't work out because they ended up firing them afterwards and letting Corbin run without the Forgotten Sons. Then Macklin showed up in TNA, which he had a pretty decent run. He had a world championship run, which got cut short because he got suffered an injury. He was the what was he? Their new title. They had an international title that they created that he was the champion for. He um he had really good feuds. He had one with Josh Alexander, I want to say. Mike Santana, he had a feud with recently. He's had decent feuds in TNA and built up quite the reputation in TNA as a good guy and a bad guy. He was one of my favorites over the last couple of years. So I'm not surprised that he left, but I am curious about where he could go. AEW is probably the most, um, it's the most prominent place for him to go. But me personally, I don't want him to go there. And it's not because I don't think he can shine there. It's just AEW is going to be a little crowded. And they have a similar rotation of stars as WWE. They're going to put who's at the top in terms of who is going to be seen on television. Whereas I feel like he could get a lot of shine and probably build up a lot of credibility either in Japan or going to MLW for a little while and working there. You've got Cross there, Shotzi Blackheart is there, a bunch of other people are there. And I think that that circuit, hog wrestling, all of that stuff can really be a good place to start really building your name and making it so that you're undeniable if you decide to go to AEW later on or go back to WWE in any capacity. I'd be cautious about WWE and I would make my
Mhm.
demands up front when it came to WWE. I'd be very clear. This is what I want. If I can't be champion in 6 months, 6 months to a year, I'll give you an extra 6 months on top. I want to be champion, which means I want to be a prominent fixture on television. I want to be in storylines. I want to be built up to possibly taking a title from somebody. Those are my demands. If you can't meet those demands and, of course, pay me, well, I'm going to go take my talents elsewhere. At least that's what I would be doing because he's worth the money, if you ask me.
He's
Now,
a solid wrestler. He's good. I mean, you could put him in any role you want him to be in, and he'd be really good. Um, Not to overstep Tiff, but I also just wanted to add real quick. I saw reports of this as soon as the news broke. He had requested this to be done in private, so he didn't want people knowing he was leaving TNA. But then TNA went ahead and posted it online that he was leaving. So I don't think he'll be going back to TNA for a while. Because, yeah.
wow. Well, that
But
sucks.
that's the rumor. Don't believe anything until, the wrestler actually says what the dirt sheets are saying. But that's word on the street is that he wanted this to stay quiet and TNA didn't do it. But also, like, he might go to Ring of Honor. I know that's like under the AEW umbrella. That's because his wife, I forget that he's married to Deanna Purrazzo. So
Yeah, they are married.
he might be. I keep forgetting that. So he may wind up going over there just to be closer to her or something like that. Which I wouldn't mind either, because I get it. You want to be close to your spouse, and that's the case. But TNA did his ass dirty, though. I will say that.
Nicole, what do you think? Did I go offline?
No, did she? Nicole, if you can hear us, we can't hear you.
I don't think she said anything. We'll get Nicole's thoughts in a second.
Sorry, my
Okay.
thing went out.
Oh, there she
Um,
goes.
Oh,
yeah, sorry, my like sound. I was like, I can't hear anything. I don't really have anything else to add. I just thought it was strange. I also always think it's strange when any news breaks on a Sunday. I don't like that. I feel like that's doing too much. Um,
Give us a break.
as a whole,
it's
in
a
general.
Monday.
Yeah, that's like a very Monday thing. I do hope everything works out for him. Um, I would, as someone who I watches, like, is able to actually, I'm able to to watch AEW a little bit more consistently. I think
Mm-hmm.
he would be fine over there, to be honest. Um, I would, and like, um, Ooh, that's soon.
Mm.
Okay, 24 hours of Le Mans period. I don't know why I thought it was that's like in like a couple days. Holy shit. 3 days. Oh, I need to pay attention. So is I like Tiff said, I would if he did consider WWE, which I honestly wouldn't at this time. There's
I
too much
agree.
going on and not enough going on
Mhm.
there at the same time, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Unless you are able to write in very specific requests and
Yep.
timelines and they are able to honor that, I would not go there.
I agree.
And this is for any person who is looking or might be going to WWE. Don't sign nothing. You really need first need to think about it. You really need to
Yeah.
be able to line out what you want your future. Um, don't be coming in there and there's no tea no shade to like any of the indie kid. Don't be coming in there now. Be like, I'm just happy to be. No, don't
Mm-mm.
do that with them people.
Nope.
No.
Don't do that with no happy to be here for because fuck that for all of them.
Fact.
You need to have a list of your expectations, demands, and why XYZ. They're not able to match that. Walk away. I'm um almost positive that AEW will probably pay you a little bit more. Will you
Same with
maybe
the
get all the stuff that you wanted? Not really.
No.
But
But you can live comfortably.
yes,
exact. My thing
until
also would be
until
oh,
WWE is in a cycle that they know what they're doing again because it does happen. It cycles in and out when
Yeah.
they
mm,
They
figure
get
out
like a
stuff.
5 year point where they pretty cool on their money and they a little bit more free, you know?
Yeah, that is unfortunately the time frame we
I,
are in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I I even say with guys like Macklin or anybody who was with WWE and was released, if you want to go back, that's fine. We're not going to judge you. But all I ask is that maybe get a lawyer because y'all have been around longer than some of these, kids that are like so desperate to please and they're like, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. Get a lawyer. Make sure that shit is ironclad. Because if you hire me for 3 years or 5 years and you release me after two, I'm getting all that money that you owe me for 5 years.
Well, so Mila Grace is also the other superstar that was released. It says that she was released because she requested it. There's really no more information out there about Mila. It's hyper focused on Steve Macklin. I don't even know what that woman looks like.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know who she was till I saw a
They
picture
hadn't
of her,
even
and I
really
said,
been there. I didn't even know they were signed to TNA.
Yeah, she is.
I,
She is a Her name is Shannon Mateer. She's known as Mila Grace. She's an
Yeah.
Irish professional wrestler, and she's best known for her
ooh,
tenures in various promotions from the British and Irish independent scene, such as Over the Top Wrestling, where she is the reigning OTT Women's Champion.
fuck yeah.
She's only 33 years of age, and she is from Belfast, Northern Ireland, in the UK.
Okay,
So
that's
I
my that's my
They
apologize.
people.
really turning them Irish people out over there now.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about this before, but I don't want to call Nikki. I think Nikki Black is what she's going by now, but Nikki Black and Big Damo purchased Progress and Over the Top Wrestling. Like they got two big, or they got two of the British promotions, and
Yeah,
they
they
bought
bought
it,
them.
and they're trying to rebuild that
Defy is
UK.
also, I believe, roped into that deal.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, so they're
I really like Defy Wrestling. Um Anybody who's listening to this, Defy Wrestling unfortunately hasn't really been in this glory days like it used to be, but also this is what they were really in their bag when what I call the second indie boom,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
because that was just in a point of time where the indies were just, I mean, it's not like the indies aren't doing well, but that's what it was like, cooking everywhere, and it was just so prominent. But Defy Wrestling, I would, what's that fucking website? What's that streaming service? Oh my god, it's gonna bother me.
Which one? The one that's like
It's the
AEW
one where
trying to
you
get
can
ready
watch all
from?
the
Is it
indie
Triller?
promotions. What the fuck is it called again?
Is it Triller?
Oh,
Oh no.
Ah, the way
not
she
them.
said
No, it's a blue. I can tell you what the app looks like. It's like a blue background. I want to think it's called like indie something. I don't know. I'll remember halfway through this anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
fair enough.
especially if you're a fan of people like in this big group of like new stars, like the Will Ospreys and like I hate to say their name, but freaking Sir Swerve Strickland,
Mm-hmm.
and who was really um cooking over there, like Dave Mastiff, like, so like there's so many like really cool acts that came out of Defy. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you really want to brush up on that part of like your wrestling history, that's like one of the avenues I would look for.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of their stuff is probably on YouTube, to be honest.
You
Hmm.
can like a lot of people need to watch it because like you go back like I got really really bored one day and I just clicked on a random match and I think it was Defy Wrestling and it was Baby Will Ospreay and I'm like what the fuck and I'm like oh my god he a baby what are you doing here and it was just
Yeah.
like so weird because you could see how like he wasn't like the Will Ospreay we know
Polished.
now.
He went
Yes.
polished.
Yeah, and it's
There
like
was a lot
he was.
of there's a lot of diamonds in the rough there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
Hmm.
I really like about, I feel like I should do an episode on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I really liked, or really, really appreciate in hindsight about that time, especially in indie wrestling, because there were a lot of diamonds in the rough. There are still a
Hmm.
lot of diamonds in the rough that are still like were from that heyday, that are still like on the indies, like, doing their thing, making moves and stuff like that. It's just like a very fascinating time in
I
wrestling.
mean, you got everybody's favorite Zack Saber Jr. And I was watching some of his early stuff. I was like, damn, he really. I mean, it
Athena
wasn't
was
bad.
was on there a lot.
Mhm.
Um,
And
Kaylee
when
Gray.
you when you just
Which,
kind of
how
step
is she
back and you
wrestling
watch,
again so fast?
I don't know. I don't know, but she's set. She ready, old gear and all.
As
And
she
I'm glad
should.
maybe
'cause
they
I love her. And I was so
I'm
mad at
so mad at them
WWE.
about her.
I was so mad at them for that. Oh, she was such a cold bitch in that ring. And the microphone,
Ugh.
man.
I'm
so
still
good.
I don't I'm still mad about her, them changing her now. Like, I'm
I didn't
still
like
mad
Alpha
about that.
Fire either.
I was mad about that, but I was like, whatever, I'll deal with it. They change motherfucker's name all the time, whatever,
Right.
whatever.
Mhm.
And then it's just how they treated her, and then I just, oh, it's just trash all
It,
around.
it,
Just I
I
hate
think
it.
like you guys said it before when we talked about this, but I think different wrestlers, depending on how big their name was in WWE or the Impact or whatever, they have like 30 days where you can't wrestle, 60 days, 90 days, that kind of stuff. So I'm excited because you know what, MLW is back on YouTube, and that's where they have like said they have Cross, they have Scarlett, they have Shotzi,
Hmm.
they have I can't think of his new name, but you know what? If Macklin goes over there, let him and Baron team up because those guys, not like if they put Macklin now, if they had let Baron do what he was doing before he was released from WWE and they put Macklin with him, that shit would have been awesome, and that would have been a really great, like, I don't want to say mashed up tag team, but it would have worked. And like put just MLW is really fucking bringing it, man. Like I tried to get tickets to their Chattanooga show like earlier last month. That shit was sold out. Like the fuck? But that just
MLW
tells me
got Cross at the helm, and we've been trying to tell people that Carrion was where it
Cross
was at, including his
Cross
wife. Mm.
Cross should have been the guy in WWE, but because Roman's there, no one's really else is allowed to move.
It's not even
Which
that. It's just they
It's not even
have
Roman. I honestly, it's
no.
not even a Roman issue anymore.
It's just
It's like a
leadership.
book. It's
It's
all of its booking issues at this
yes,
point.
yeah. Because like, look, you could have had a good feud with Carrion and Roman, especially with his cerebral kind of character.
mm-hmm.
Roman would not have known what to do with that. Let's just be honest.
He wouldn't know what to do with
Yep.
him. He would have been mad about Scarlet,
Yeah,
and
because
then he
Scarlett,
would have to figure out, and then he would have to call what some like one of the cousins. I think that
yeah,
could have been like you could have done something. Can't do nothing with obviously trends out. But you could have like he could do something like help put Nia Jax in a bloodline.
Nia ain't doing shit. Let her
And
do it.
that's no shade to her because they could be doing more things with Naya.
And they
And
trying to
this was something.
they
This
rebuilding the family. So
yeah, this could
Yeah.
be same, and they're doing it a different way. And now it's supposed to. It's um from like what I've been hearing, and then from what I'm doing because they'll actually let Roman be creative. Is like it's basically like not only like he's actually building it with people that like he respects.
mhm, it's not a domination thing
Yeah, like he needs
like it was
people like
before.
yes, like he needs people like who he doesn't think obviously like Roman doesn't think anyone's on his level, quote unquote, but
Yeah.
people that he know could get there.
Hmm.
Like he can't have like he's not trying to be like the only person who's not a bum.
Right. He want his
He's
whole
not doing all that.
family. And we're not talking about just
Yeah.
having all the gold. He's just like, this is why he put Jay on Cody for the tournament. He like,
Because he
yo,
ain't
the
doing
tournament's
nothing.
happening. Go get the title. Okay, cool. He not gonna get it,
What
but okay, cool.
what is going on? So I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched Raw that much. What is going on with Jay and he acting like the way he's acting? Because it's like,
No
sir,
one knows.
you're a former world champion. Why are you acting like this?
But you know what? I don't think, and to be fair, I don't think he's gonna be in the group long. I'm gonna be honest.
He need to get jumped out. He's the
I,
first one that got to
Yeah,
go.
he's gonna be the first
Jimmy
one to
can
go,
stay because Jimmy got his head on right.
and Jimmy deserves to be the next guy in line. It's
Yeah,
time
like
for
Jay
Jimmy's
doing way
time.
too much. He
Yeah,
got to go
so
home.
I don't think he.
yeah.
I by the time next year rolls around, Roman and they get whatever they're gonna do with Solo in them, because that's the next thing is Solo in them. That's why Solo's
This
trying so hard to recruit Royce because he feels like he's gonna need him. So
and
once they get
you know
that
what?
taken care of, then it's gonna be like Jay Uso's probably gonna be the next one in the group that's gonna feel like, oh, well, I don't measure up, or I haven't been able to do this, or I can't do that, and it's just gonna be this never-ending cycle. And eventually, he probably gonna either get put out, or his cousin just gonna be like, you either gotta put up or shut up.
Yeah.
You know what? I saw something today and it made me laugh really more hard than it really should have. Someone on Threads goes, "Y'all realize the bloodline has lasted longer than the Confederacy?"
Yeah, well, am
At
I
this point,
surprised? No, 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 I'm not
you
surprised.
know what? As long as he outlasts Agent Orange, I will. That will be
Fair.
as
That's
long as
Yeah.
honestly, I won't be mad at them as long as they do that.
agreed.
If you want to roll on for this long, you gotta do me a solid.
Yeah.
You want to hang around, you gonna hang around.
Right.
You're going to hang around.
So
They have to be intact till he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to hang around, if they want to reheat they nachos, oh man, we're gonna really be eating some leftover Mexican. And you buckle up, cause
Now,
I mean, I'll have some ideas. I'll keep you rolling. But I think Jacob, I do think and then we can probably move on to the next subject. But I honestly think adding a woman would be smart, especially since it seems like there's the writing on the wall with Maxine and Otis and Tozawa.
yeah, I just want to know
I
what's
see the
the
right
dirt.
it's like I see the writing on the wall for that group, so and feel like she's gonna be something in Division. So just add a girl at. Just do it now.
So one more question, then we can move on because SummerSlam's coming up soon, sooner than we think. Because it's already July. I'm thinking, shit, here we go. If they don't get this shit squashed, okay, I'm just gonna. Do you guys see Bloodline versus MFT in Survivor Series this year as the main men's cage match?
I don't think it's going to be that big of a thing that it's going to be a Survivor Series, but I do think that they're going to have some type of coming together because I think Solo's going to have a face turn, to be honest.
God.
I don't even know. I don't even want to say a face turn. I don't even know if I want to word it like that. I think he's going to end up going something with him and Keys is going to happen. I don't know what exactly, but something is going to happen. But also at the same time, like how I said, Roman is looking for the best of the best. He don't want people in the bloodline just to be in the bloodline.
Right.
Mm.
And with the NFTs, you're a subsection of the bloodline. I need to take stock of what I think is going to happen. He's going to take stock of what Solo has, and he's going to be like, okay, I need to get them to come work for me. And then that's going to
Mm.
disband the NFTs. So whoever he picks, which should happen, that should how it goes because there's no use for the NFTs, even though they're both on different shows. But the way this is going, and
Mhm.
also you can send Jimmy and Jay don't need to be on the same show. You can
I
send
agree.
Jay. You can send, and this can send Jay to SmackDown, and then whoever quote unquote takes his place can take his spot at Raw.
Fair.
Mm. That makes sense.
Yeah, but
Well, since we're speaking about WWE, there was a lawsuit that came through for WWE, I think a year or so ago. And the lawsuit pretty much was accusing Vince and Nick Khan and WWE of defrauding the shareholders. The shareholders brought the lawsuit up. If I recall, this is the investor lawsuit. Yeah, this
yeah,
lawsuit
because
came up.
we talked about this.
hmm It came
There's
up in
so many.
2023, and this is when they were selling the shares of WWE. This is around the time that they sold WWE
They
to
had all them
Endeavor.
shares that went up and got sold
hmm
all at one time.
And they claimed that this sale to Endeavor was a sham, and that they were sued for it. So
I mean, I
before
agree
we get
with
to what happened with the actual lawsuit now, I gotta tell y'all what happened where things were not looking good for WWE. So according to Cage Side Seats, um, there were some allegations that came out against President Nick Khan, WWE President Nick Khan, and Vince McMahon. And this was about destroying evidence. Okay. Now, according to this evidence was over on Signal. Now, you guys, if you're a part of the political sphere, then you know, if you're a part of the political sphere or you've been listening long enough, then you know that Signal is an app that is used by a lot of Republican pundits. They use that app because Signal deletes a lot of their chats within 24 hours. So they can pretty much speak as freely as they want, allegedly, over on the app. Now, this also has to do with some businesses who use Signal. And this is where some, you know, I guess you could say like insider trading stuff kind of happens and illegal things are happening and they're trying to hide or cover up things. They don't want any evidence. So they use this app to basically say what they want to say and they believe that the stuff will be deleted within a few hours or so. Well,
Hi,
courts
hi,
got wind
real,
of their information. They went through all of their stuff. They had to present their phones. They had to present past scripts of whatever they were using to communicate. And when the judge got wind that they were deleting or that they had deleted all of their signal conversations, this is where the problem came in. And they were sanctioned because they were getting ready to subpoena Signal for the chats that were backed up on the server, if I'm reading this correctly. So it says, before Alexis explains everything, it says the text message exchanges alerted attorneys for plaintiffs to the defendant's use of Signal, which Khan alleged to have spearheaded. Okay, on which such exchange came in February of 2023, when Vince was only supposed to be focused on the sale of WWE, but was texting Nick Khan about WrestleMania Creative and featured this unintentional bit of comedy between the two. Now, I'm going to read this because I'm going to read. Khan to McMahon. This says Langus. And Mr. McMahon says, what in blue hell is Langus? LOL. Nick Khan says, read it backwards. So these conversations, Nick Khan knew they shouldn't be texting this over the phone. So he told him to go to Signal, but he tried to do it in a covert way. You have to remember, Vince McMahon is in his late 70s. Okay. There's no way for you to tell this man that. You could have called him. You
that's the thing that drives me nuts about this is why are y'all not having this on conversations
I
like
don't
over the
know.
phone, voice to voice, face to face kind of thing. Like this is some high school bullshit.
But to go further into it, it says that further confirmation came when McMahon was disposed in the case later and said, I was always told about Signal and it's good for business because no one can trace you and so forth. It's kind of like the email platform Proton. You can't find out much about the call or the text. At least that's what they're led to believe. Now, according to Brandon Thurston's reporting for Post Wrestling, which he has a whole report on, and he does a very good job of talking about the WWE financial reports. Does a good job of, detailing everything for these trials and everything. He breaks it down so that you can understand. I'm not gonna lie, it's a tedious listen. You have to be willing to hear the information in order to absorb it and to be able to understand it. So if you're not really listening, you don't want to listen to boring business rhetoric. If that's not your bag, then Brandon Thurston talking about this isn't going to be your speed. But it is up on their YouTube channel because they went live twice. They had a full live where they talked about the trial and how they got to this point and everything in it. And they also had a full live where they talked about the actual possible settlement of this trial. Now, they encourage you to read it because it's a great detailed analysis for you to get into. But this particular breakdown of their signal chat was the proverbial nail in the coffin for them, but they just hadn't gone to trial yet to lay out all the facts. So instead, it looks like they have decided to settle. Now, over here on Post Wrestling, Brandon Thurston reported on Twitter yesterday at about 9:50 at night. He said the WWE merger trial has been canceled. Court administrator for the Delaware Court of Chancery, Tamara Burton, confirmed this to him this evening. And they haven't confirmed whether a settlement has been agreed to or worked on. But the trial that was previously scheduled to start on Monday is no longer on the court dockets, which means that they are either in the works of settling or they have settled. Now, Alexis, explain to
Hmm.
them how the Signal chat actually works,
Okay,
please.
yay, my time to shine. So, hi, if you're new here, I'm Alexis. I have a degree in cyber defense, cybersecurity, currently working toward my bachelor's, or at least trying to get that started. And I'm just going to start with this. Signal is heavy, heavy, heavy encrypted, and they have probably some of the best security that you could probably get for this kind of network. But kids, I want you to know this. Nothing is not impenetrable. All you got to do is have a hacker who has the time and the right equipment. Now, I looked up Signal. They got some pretty heavy shit. So it's not going to be like in the movies where it takes like 5 seconds and they're in. It could probably take about a month, month and a half. Who knows? Depends on how good it is. But we all know from social media, if you delete something, it never really disappears. Because 99.9% of the time, somebody took a screenshot of your shit. And technically, if something ever gets out of hand and people are subpoenaed, they do have to give that information over. Now, the funny thing, Signal does have limitations. You have to have a phone number in order to sign up for it. And it identifies you, make sure that you're an actual person. Phone numbers can actually hook up to a lot more information than y'all think it is. You have device compromise. That means if someone's able to get into your phone or whatever you're using for this service, they get into it, and that could just be as simple as someone knowing your password, or they're able to hack into your phone. They can get into your shit and see what you're sending. Also, again, human factors. Signal can't stop you from taking a screenshot of your conversation or taking a picture of it with other cameras. Because people are petty. But it seems pretty. People are hyping it up. They said it's probably one of the best secured systems, but nothing is not impenetrable because everything can be broke into. Kids, it's human fucking nature. Because all it's going to take is one little one. Computer programming is so wild, and that's why I laugh at it when people say ChatGPT is the new teacher of programming. Sorry, I don't mean to be going off on a computer nerd shit. All it takes is one line of incorrect code or one line of code that hasn't been updated for years, and people are able to get into that weak spot and they have access to fucking everything. And these guys are acting like a bunch of petty teenagers. So, first off, I think it's funny that Vince is using this, which then again, my 70-something-year-old dementia-riddled dad still knows how to text, so I'll give him that. But I don't see Vince being the kind of guy that's like, "What are you doing, LO?" Whatever. But yeah, it's high secured, but really anybody can get into it and get your information and shit because most of these stuff that you sign up for, they actually ask for a location where you live at too nowadays. So have fun with that. But I've been seeing where people have been trying to get into Signal for a couple of years now, but it's the same thing with Snapchat. Because Snapchat used to be like, oh, after 24 hours it disappears and we don't keep it in our server. And what happened a couple of years ago? Snapchat got hit with something that they've actually been storing people's, not only their pictures, but their information as well. I think it was something like Rihanna did it or something like that. But Rihanna did something with Snapchat. But Snapchat got in trouble because they said the same thing. Honestly, if they're taking screenshots of this conversation, neither one of them, like Nick Khan, does not trust Vince. Somebody does not trust anybody, and they're all acting like a bunch of fucking idiots. In my professional opinion. But really, all you need is a hacker who's really, really bored just to find that one little weak spot, and then they get everything. But yeah,
Well,
there you go. Quick crashing computer knowledge right there for you.
Nicole, do you have anything to say before we talk about their settlement?
No, not really. Not on that aspect.
All right. So, according to postwrestling.com, this was updated a few hours ago, and Brandon Thurston is the one who has the reports, the details. So, again, if you want to read more or more in depth info, you would have to go over to his Twitter and follow him. But I do believe he has it up currently on his YouTube channel where he details the settlement and what it actually entails. But according to the judge on the case, Vice Chancellor J. Travis Laster, it says as follows: the parties have represented to the court that they have reached an agreement in principle on a settlement. At the parties' request, the trial is canceled. The parties have advised the court that they will present the settlement for approval in due course. The notice may appear on the court docket tomorrow, which would be Monday. A public
Mm-hmm.
settlement figure may take some time to emerge, which means the amount of money they settled for may take some time to emerge. It may not. They can agree to not disclose that and just say that they settled out of court, which sometimes they do, but there was shareholders, I believe, who sued them. So they're probably going to want to make that public and make it very clear they ain't going down that road again. And this is what you will have to pay if you don't comply. You know what I'm saying? So,
Uh-huh.
according to Thurston, he said, citing the procedure precedent of the timeline that played out in 2025 during a lawsuit against Meta executives in the same Delaware court, the trial abruptly ended in July due to a last minute agreement. However, the final settlement figure remained undisclosed until November. So this has happened before, essentially, and it took a while for them to come up with a settlement figure that they actually made public. Earlier in the day at 3:30, it says the parties had reached a agreement in principle for the settlement, and Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics reported it on Sunday that the court administrator had conveyed to him that the trial had been canceled at the request of both parties. So they settled because they probably had damning evidence against Nick Khan and Vince McMahon that they conspired. And because of that, they didn't, one, want to go to jail, and two, they just wanted to get rid of this so it wouldn't be out in the public while WWE is trying to reform themselves.
Mm. I want to see the
So
messages. I want
I
to
will
see.
too. So,
I
Nicole, what do
need.
you think? Do you think, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that this could put Nick Khan at risk for his job? Or even though he's just signed his contract to renew himself, they could still fire him, give him a severance package, and send him on his way. Do you think he's at risk, or do you think that this is a one and done thing and they're just going to move on?
I think it depends on what they have to quote unquote
Pay out?
show face for.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
If it's just a bunch of messages of him being events like, hey, like let's not discuss that here, let's go to Signal. And this is unfortunately, as someone who's worked very corporate my a good chunk of my professional career, that's not you can't you can really explain away a lot of that stuff, because you could say, oh, we were talking about sensitive information with blah blah blah, did not want, easable hack, like blase. There's a lot of things that they can work their way around it. um if it's just stuff like that, he'll be fine. I do think if there's a little bit worse, I think they're going to get any issues. The only reason I don't think they would ever fully fire him because he's too good at his job that they'll take some hits.
Mm-hmm.
He's unfortunately done, regardless of like how you feel about him, he has really turned that fucking ship around. Because if it was just Vince, like that company would have been under Tony Khan would have probably been owning WWE by now, or somebody else
Oh,
random as fuck.
that's a scary
Yeah,
alternate universe
The
to think
way,
about.
but that was the way
that
things
was
were
looked like it
going.
was going. Yeah,
That's literally where it was going.
and The Rock would
So
be part owner because they
yeah,
besties.
it would have been a mess. It would, like we talk about like how much of a disaster they are, but this truly would have been a fucking shell of itself. It would have been bad.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I think if they have to, I think they will suspend him, tell him he paid some big ass fine, would pick some random ass fuck ass charity, say that he donated and say that they cut his salary, or they might make him sell some of his shares, which usually that's like usually the form of punishment to go for in that type of situation for that. So I think regardless, he'll be there. But if it's real bad, they'll stick with him, but they're gonna look at him real funky once the contract negotiations come up.
Real
Mm-hmm.
sideways.
Yeah.
All right. So essentially, so that you guys can kind of understand what they were talking about, they were having conversations. It led to them talking about WWE creative decisions. And that's when Nick Khan said, "Hey, let's go to Signal." He said it in a backwards way.
He's fine because you could just argue that as a work.
And they were like, "Oh,
Mm,
Yeah.
okay." But see, the problem is at that time, Vince was supposed to be hands off. The shareholders were led to believe that Vince wasn't there. He wasn't doing creative anymore. They were selling
oh,
WWE and everything was under Triple H's control. Vince wasn't making any of those decisions, but they have proof that he lied. So that's why we see the scrambling of them trying to settle out of court.
girl, you
So,
in trouble.
right. So, Nicole is right. They could explain it away like Vince was just making suggestions.
But
You know,
also, like everybody fucking knew this.
we all knew
I don't know
this.
why these shareholder people, I don't even work in that fucking building, could see shit what that shit was a mile away. So I don't understand. So this is honestly, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I don't feel bad for those share. I don't feel honestly. Well, I really don't because these are a bunch of rich people anyway. So I feel
They
bad for no
are.
one
They
in this
are.
aspect. I especially don't feel bad for those shareholders because they had half a fucking brain cell. They should have been questioned that.
So
No,
I
because
will play devil's advocate and I will say this. They were being misled for a very long time. From the time they started the Saudi deal, which is what led to the inquiry of all of this, and then the
uh-huh.
immediate sale of WWE, that's what ramped up the shareholders' anger because they kept being lied to. And that's why they're like, nope, nope, you're lying to us. We know you're lying to us. And they kind of like, no, it's true. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. He's not here. He's not a part of the company anymore. And then they have these personal text messages where he's telling them what he wants them to do with creative. And because if you're thinking like I'm thinking, them text messages had to go on for longer than just that little point in time. So if he's
Mm-hmm.
running creative through Nick Khan and relaying the information to Triple H, and all that shit is actually happening on TV, there's a trail here.
See,
And
that's the part that's the part that gets me. It's just because my dad worked in the car industry for so long, and there are some two-faced motherfuckers who work in that industry. But you can't be lying to each other. You can't be telling one person one thing and the other thing another, because eventually the truth is going to come out, and then you're going to look like the massive asshole that you really fucking are.
But if we're being honest and you're $1 billion corporation, I expect you to be able to lie better.
Or at
I
least
think
have your
that's what
shit
I
together.
get mad about. Like, and this is gonna sound a real thing, and this is goes for a lot of them. All of our rich people need to be extremely wealthy people need to be regulated in positions like this. Not gonna lie. I know that
Oh
sounds
yeah.
strange, but hear me out. They
No.
if you're not going to do so, if you're going to be rich, you got to do something. You got to have some more sauce in the bag. Like, and I also get mad. That's why I think I get so fucking mad at Jeff Bezos and his blow up wife, because why aren't we like doing fun things like billionaires used to do? Like, we had all them rich people like the Vanderbilts and stuff. Yes, they were like they were building train stations and
Hmm.
going into the automotive agency. Why don't we have a station on Mars yet?
No, like for real, like you
Or
guys
on the
have, like,
moon?
okay,
I'm honestly being really serious
I,
right now.
I
Like,
fucking
why?
agree with
Like, if you're gonna be a billionaire and you're gonna whatever industry you are or fucking up our resource, do something exciting with it. That's why I get mad at Elon Musk, because he could have been building a station on the moon and I wouldn't have said
you.
anything. I would have let him. And I'm not going to be like, oh, that's a waste of money. Yes, but it's exciting and it's
I
something
look
for the
like
future.
Mark Cuban just
It's
he
his
started
money to
that
waste, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Let
like,
him
well
waste
and
Mark
it.
you're
Cuban
not even smart. So I'm mad. So you're a fucking so you're that means you're a billionaire and you're fucking stupid.
Ma'am.
yes.
That's like this is when
Egregious
this is
behavior.
when I draw the line.
No, like
And
she's
this is
right
from
because you got to
someone I
think
let a lot of things slide. I don't run a
about
tight
it.
ship. I
You
honestly
don't.
don't.
I don't
I do
either.
with certain aspects, but those aspects and reasonings in my mind make sense. That's how also I feel about F1. That's why I like it, because it's such a circus. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's just a bunch of rich people doing something really weird, and they're very uppity about it. And then they have no social skills. Half of them barely, none of them, all of these fucking rich ass drivers, none of them graduated high school. Half of them barely has gone past for freshman year of high school.
No,
Fascinating.
because no,
Millions of dollars, but they're literally doing calculus in their heads though when they're doing
yeah,
these turns and shit. It's fascinating. So you mean to tell me you little dumbass bitches on this WWE board, I don't care if they're trying to pull a ruse or not. Ain't nobody sat there one day and was like, I've noticed Vince's lights have been on in the office quite,
Um,
the
because
past couple
mm,
of
they probably
weeks.
don't.
Like, no
They
one,
probably don't.
and or someone
Either.
ain't see his fucking car, or they be like, he looks awfully busier than he should be. Maybe we should have a
Because
meeting.
they don't. Because here's the thing. They have, I hate to make it sound like this, but they have been Pablo dog trained to pretty much ignore Vince when he was in the building. They are like literally just turn your head and do something else. But no, like I agree with Nicole. First off, I'm in this thing that billionaires and multi-millionaire billionaires should not exist, especially when we have like homeless vets and people who need the money. But at the same time, what was it? The Gilded Age, the fucking Industrial
Yes, like,
Revolution
why
or
aren't
some
we
shit.
building like weird buildings and
No, you know
like
what they were doing? They were setting up. They were assholes like Rockefeller, Ford. Ford was a Nazi supporter apparently, but like all these rich motherfuckers, everyone was like, "Well, they helped build America." They were building colleges. They were building hospitals. They were building like places where homeless people could go. Like that's where like shelters really started becoming a thing. And I
and
mean, they were like, "Look." good we are for humanity, but behind the scenes, they are the worst people you could ever fucking
And
meet.
honestly, and it was a lot of reason it was vanity, so they could have their fucking name and picture on something. That's
Yeah.
literally what it stemmed. And mind you, fine, whatever. But at least,
Mhm.
when's the last time someone built a college? I just thought about that. No, seriously, I have not heard of a new college in years.
One of
Like a
our
universe.
best
No, I'm not talking about like an accredited. I'm talking about like a university.
Yeah, like you guys have to understand if you do the history of some of the most prestigious colleges in the United States, and then probably some of them in Europe too, most of them were built so that everyone, the public, could be like, "Oh my God, this benefactor is such a nice guy," and behind the scenes he's eating puppies. Like that.
One of
That's
the
what you have to.
largest buildings, one of the largest buildings or named buildings in Ohio State is named after a fucking racist. So
Mhm.
that
Well,
so that so you know that already tells you where it's at. So agreed.
I mean, bitch,
That's why I'm
I'm
pissed.
from.
That's why I'm mad. Like honestly, I hope, and I can't believe I say this, I hope WWE does not have to pay that much and or they win the settlement because that's stupid. You're too stupid. You're stupid. I
Now
hope they
I'll say
win.
that.
Nicole,
I will say
please.
that if it's shareholders where it's
Yeah, I
like
don't give a
normal
fuck
people.
about them. Just all these rich people. You want me to feel bad because you weren't paying attention at your job that's already easy? Are you kidding
I
me?
mean, you got a point. But here's if it's just like people who, if it's like you, me, and Tiff, like average people who just like, you know what, I'm gonna buy enough stock in here to be considered a shareholder. Like, let them give them the fucking money. You assholes who wipe your ass with dollar bills, you don't get shit. Because fuck you. That's why. Ugh. Now, seriously, build a new fucking college. Like, god damn.
I just thought about that. No, seriously, we don't have any new colleges, barely any
No.
new. We do honestly in my area. Um, my area loves a hospital, so we have plenty. We do not need any more over here. Please
Fair enough.
don't.
Like,
Did they
if
kick him? Did they
we're
jump him
talking,
out the group?
Jump who out?
Sean Spears.
They're mad at him. They may.
he had it coming from
Yeah,
what I've
okay.
seen.
Yeah, I
But
mean
like,
he deserves
especially
it.
Uh,
especially like nowadays, like if we didn't, I mean, we all knew they were assholes, but like you guys could have been building like multi or like a lot of mental health places, and people would have been like, you know what, maybe he's not such a good, or he's not such a bad guy because he does all this great stuff for people with mental illness, while meanwhile he's snorting, crack off a hooker's cooch. I don't fucking know what rich people do,
oh my
but
God.
that shit like that. We don't get that
Okay.
shit anymore. It's not fun anymore.
Now that we're done talking about the rich people that everybody hates,
Hashtag eat the rich, including your faves.
look, just to segue from this to go back to TNA for a little bit, they are still blocking people from working with CMLL, and I think it has something to do with their working relationship with WWE. But before you get mad, I need you to hear me out, okay? WWE currently owns AAA, and AAA is a direct competitor with CMLL. Not only that, but CMLL also works directly with AEW, and they have their talent rotating out of there the same way. And it started with AEW. They were doing that with CMLL, and they had champions like Kenny Omega was champion there once while he was champion in TNA and AEW. He had all the gold.
Oh god, fucking butt collector bullshit.
So the reason why I'm telling you this is because y'all favorite racist white woman, Tessa Blanchard, was blocked from working in CMLL by TNA. Do I care? No. No, I don't. But she is not the first, and she will not be the last. A lot of people seem to believe that WWE is just keeping the talent from TNA from working on these various circuits, but CMLL seems to be a place where they are just like, no, you can't go over there. Now, WWE does not own TNA, but I'm pretty sure that they may, because they have this partnership with TNA, that they may be having some financial compensation from WWE. This is my opinion. This is not your opinion or the truth. It's just something that I believe because TNA seems to be complying if what we're led to believe is true. They are barring their talent from going to work with CMLL. This was happening when the talent was leaving to work for AEW as well. They cut that off completely. And any company that was working with AEW, they were banned from working there. So what do y'all think? Do you think that WWE has a heavy influence over TNA, and that is why TNA is cutting off the guys from working with companies like CMLL, or do you think it's just a TNA thing?
Well, I think it's very weird that they want to say that, because CMLL Women's Champion Persephone, who I fucking love, by the way, she that bitch is badass. She kind of scares me, so I think I love her a little bit because of it. She showed up in AEW like a couple days ago, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. It could, since we're on the conversation of petty, but it could just be that. I mean, I think there is some bad blood, maybe. I mean, there's got to be a lot of it with AEW and TNA because that was some bullshit. And people who were like, "Oh no, this is awesome," they're now going back and watching it, and they're like, "No, this is actual fucking bullshit. What the hell?" Um, I don't know. I think maybe it might be different people's contracts. Like to be honest, I don't think any wrestling company should have Tessa Blanchard on their roster, but that's just me and a bunch of other people apparently. But I think it's just I think it's certain people they don't want there and certain people they do want there, and the ones they don't want there are getting upset and all in their feelings. I mean, again, Persephone was there at AEW, and there's been other um, lucha stars in AEW. So I don't know. It seems weird to me, but not my company, not my problem.
AEW doesn't have the issue. TNA does. TNA is not allowing their talent to work on CMLL, and they also have blocked them from doing indie style bookings with AEW and other businesses. It's been widely known, especially with this last year and the year before, they have been blocking their talent from working. So, Nicole, what do you think?
I think it's like a little bit of both, and hear me out. I don't think WWE is specifically requesting it because I don't think and this is like no tea, no shade. CML is a great promotion, great brand, and yada yada yada. I think WWE has too many hands in a bucket to really worry about them to worry about that right now.
Mm.
And that's the same thing where I don't think they can be essentially, I don't think they're as worried about AEW now. I don't care what anyone says. And it's not for the main reason. I think it's just they have too much going on. They can't. I think it's becoming like a very like Vince thing where Vince literally thought the only wrestling that existed was WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like WWE. I don't think they're in that mindset. Or is the fact that they can't worry about what anybody else is doing because they got too much going on. What they're where they're at, which you have to think about it because you have like this new type of branding. You have like they're really like dipping their toes in Europe now and being more international, which they should if you're called Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment. Like
Correct.
I 100%
Mm-hmm.
in agreement with that. I think that makes sense. I also think that's good for the wrestlers. I think it's like a nice break for like it's a nice way for them to have like a break or vacations while working. So
Yeah.
that's why I also really like this. Um but yeah, they have like triple A, like NXT is like NXT. They gotta figure out what the fuck they're doing on Raw and SmackDown.
Right.
It's like we're not that far removed from Mania, but we're also not far away from arguably the second biggest pay-per-view of theirs of the year, or one of the biggest pay-per-views of their year. Like there's and then they have like their partnership with TNA, which I honestly they're not even really utilizing that much
Not
right now.
anymore, they ain't.
Yeah.
When's the
Like
last
it's
time a
not
TNA was on Raw or
so that's
SmackDown?
why I don't think
WWE has
WWE's
anything to do with it.
requesting. I think that they're doing it to sort of like kiss ass, sort of a little bit.
I can agree with that.
That's what I
Hmm.
think they're preemptively do it to make themselves look good. But I also do think also because I think WWE like slides them some money every month,
That's
so
what I was
they can
saying earlier.
so they can and I don't even think it's that much money. I think it's
It's
just
just a
enough
little
money to
bit.
pay a couple bills. It's
Yes.
like some bill
Yeah.
money. Like they can pay the electric and then the water
Right.
bill
It
consistently
was
with
like,
this.
we're just gonna give you a little bit, just a little bit to keep the
Yes.
lights on.
Well,
Yeah.
also it's kind of been documented that the Mexican wrestling promotions aren't exactly always the cleanest of the noses, if you get my drift when it comes to certain things.
That I understand, but like I said, we can't confirm or deny any of that. All we know is what the wrestlers tell us, and we know for sure that they got some dirty dealings, but so do the American wrestling promotions. They're no better. So
I mean,
the whole, what I was saying earlier was like, I just feel like TNA got their palms greased just a little bit, and then they were just like, okay, we want to protect our ass. We don't want to do
Mhm.
nothing to fuck up the big boss. We don't want to do nothing to piss them off. So let's keep it clean. Let's keep it tight. Let's keep it in house. That's basically what they did. At least that's what I believe, in my opinion. But y'all believe what y'all want to believe. It's fine. I'm just presenting the facts in my own opinion, and Nicole and Alexis are giving theirs. We don't know everything for sure. We can only go off of what we know. Okay. Now
mhm.
let's get into some fun stuff. Let's talk about actual wrestling, not just the news. First things first, there is an injury report. So MJF is injured. I believe he has a hyperextended knee. Okay.
Yep.
Um, this happened in a match with Rush. A lot of people blamed Rush for the injury, but it wasn't his fault. It was a freak accident. Knee hyperextension happens in a lot of sports, especially in basketball. We see it on the court all the time. So it's no really fault here. It's just, it was a freak accident. It just happens. It's kind of like what happened with Bronson Reed when he was in his match. Bronson ended up tearing his bicep, I think, or his tricep in that match. That was a freak accident. He literally was laying on top of somebody else and was like turning himself over and tore it. There was no contact really with anybody. So
I
let's,
can tell you honestly, from someone who's played contact sports, injuries happen over the dumbest shit sometimes. It's not like always, oh, they are doing this massive play. You can literally be bending down to stretch and break something. Like, shit happens. Don't be blaming people.
yeah.
Especially Mr. I haven't been wrestling for the last 3 months because I'm shooting a movie that I'm gonna be cut out of again.
Oh my God. Okay. Alexis's shade is her shade, so we're just gonna leave it at that. So look, he has an injury, and then Rhea has an injury. The injury is minor from what I understand, but it is a knee injury. She was
Mm.
wearing a very soft knee brace on Friday. She was out there, but she was not cleared to compete. So I think they're probably going to give her another week. where she's, healing up and then she'll be back ready to go. I don't think her injury is too big, or otherwise they wouldn't have had her on TV at all. Okay. So as far as I know, the injuries are there, and Stephanie Vaquer is still injured. She is out. I believe she's recovering. Um, that's one of the reasons why Liz Morgan is in the Queen of the Ring tournament, which we'll get to that in a second. Um, but other than that, I haven't heard about any other injuries. And as far as I know, everybody else seems to be rolling and doing exceptionally well. Now, we're going to talk about two tournaments: the King of the Ring tournament, the Queen of the Ring tournament, because they're one and the same, and the Women's and Men's Owen Hart tournament. Okay. Both of them lead to title shots at the pay per views. All right. Which I love that this has coincided with each other. This is cool. But first, we're going to start with WWE. Then we're going to go to AEW. All right. So let's first start with the King of the Ring tournament. Let me put it up.
Because they already had
So
matches this week, right?
correct. So I want to clear some things up because some of y'all are a little. I'm not going to say you're slow. Okay. I'm going to say that sometimes you get in your mind, you want things to be a specific way, but I don't think you think everything through. So I need you to hear me out before you go off on your tangent while you're looking at your phone. Okay. Everybody was upset that this was set up in 4 fatal 4 ways, right? I was not
Mm-hmm.
mad, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, if you have a big fatal 4 way and then two small matches, that leads to what? Less injuries. You
Mm-hmm.
you you get less risk of an injury because the same people don't have to keep competing to make it to the end. Correct?
Correct.
And in these fatal 4 ways, you get to put a variety of people in there, which allows all of them to be able to compete, and you cut down on time because we don't have it. Night of Champions is on the 27th. That is 2 weeks from Monday. That is 2 weeks. When we hit Monday, we'll be literally in that 2 week range. Okay. So right now we're 3 weeks out from Night of Champions, and they still have two sets of matches that they have to complete for the Night of Champions first round. If we were still doing 2-on-2 matches, we would have at least, what is it, 8 more matches plus some to complete before we get to Night of Champions.
And look, we're wrestling fans. Our attention span is fucking shot. Like, I think the last time they tried to do an extended King and Queen of the Ring, it just got so boring so quickly that people forgot about it or just didn't give a shit about it. One of the
No,
two.
they got mad because they said it was too long. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is why. And then I was like, well, the fatal 4 ways make sense. But that was not the case. I got many comments over on my Instagram. Oh, I wish this was just a 2-on-2. And it's like, why? You get a fatal 4 way and then you can move on. And then we can hyper fixate on the two semifinal matches because they're going to have 4 semifinal matches. Do you know how long it would have taken us to get to the semifinals and then to the finals? They would have had to pack so many matches into Raw and SmackDown, and it just made more sense to do one big match and be done with
I love it when we're right. You know that?
it.
I love it. I love it when we get proven right.
So we have the King of the Ring tournament. Let's start here. The first set of the brackets are already full, which is on the left hand side. If you can't see it, it's on your screen. For Alexis and Nicole, is currently up on the screen right now if you want to see it. But we have Penta, Oba, Solo, and Carmelo. They competed on Monday Night Raw. Oba Femi advanced. Then Friday we had Dominic Mysterio, excuse me, Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, and Priest. Dominic Mysterio is the one who advanced in that match. Let me make sure I pull up the right one. Did I download the right one? I did.
I'm not happy about that.
I'm going to tell you why I'm okay with this in a second. On the other side of the bracket, these two brackets are going to be filled out next Monday. Remember, Monday Night Raw comes on at 2 because they're going to be in France So the
Mhm.
show is going to come on at 2 p.m. in the afternoon instead of at 8. Just a reminder because some of y'all are going to forget. Okay. But yeah, but Penta, Oba, Solo, and Carmelo had a great match on Monday. Oba went in there. He was not at full capacity. You have to remember, he just got done wrestling Brock Lesnar at what was that pay per view? What was it? Clash in Italy. He just got done wrestling
Yeah.
Brock. Brock put that chimera lock on him. His arm was bandaged up. And even after having to wrestle all three of these men and having to fend off Tala, he still was able to win that match with one arm. I can't stress that
God,
enough.
that man's
He
a
had one
fucking
arm.
beast.
And then he cut a really good promo afterwards, which I was just like, oh, I love Opa. Anyways, now Friday Night SmackDown was a totally different story. I'm going to tell you why. Because Braun Breaker, he lost on Monday to Seth Rollins, even though he had help from Austin Theory. And then Montez came in to even the score. Braun Breaker was pretty pissed that he lost to Seth Rollins. So he was quite determined to win this match. However, where he made his fatal error was taking out Trick Williams on the outside of the ring on the announcer's table. He laid himself out as well as Trick
Mm.
Williams, and that is what cost him the match. Dom came in there. He had JD McDonough and he had Liv Morgan. They all came out there and helped, and that's how he advanced. And I knew it was going to be something like that. Either Braun was just going to take everybody out because he was angry and he wants to win, and Dom was going to do something sneaky, and he did. Because, I mean, you got to have a shitty winner. Oh, and of course, because Oba went in there and dominated. You can't have a clean winner with Braun Breaker. You gotta let Dom win on some snake shit. Okay? Which is what he did. Now, they're not gonna wrestle Monday because they still have to finish the tournament. So what they did do was they quietly moved Finn Balor over to SmackDown. So he isn't on Raw anymore. And he's being getting his debut match over on SmackDown, which leads me to believe that Finn Balor just may win his term of the bracket. At least I think he. And then you have this bracket over here. You've got Seth Rollins, you got Javon Evans, you've got Tala Tonga, and you've got Ricky Saints in that bracket. So before we move on to the women, Nicole, you go first. Who do you think is going to win on the other side of the bracket to set up the semifinal matches
For the men.
for the guys?
I think Javon. I feel like Javon Evans is probably gonna win since he lost last week, or
Mm-hmm.
they might use this as a get back. Either way, Tonga and Rollins aren't winning. Um, Ricky is my dark horse pick.
Fair.
I think Jay will unfortunately be beating. Oh, I that's another four way.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird one. I unfortunately think Jay is probably going to win that one. To be honest,
Oh God, I
I feel
hope
like there's
not.
going to be some rigmarole, and he's
The
gonna
rigor.
win. But I don't think he's gonna get past that though.
What about you, Alexis? Who do you pick? You got Rollins, Evans, Tonga, and Saints and on the top, and then you've got Jay, LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor on the bottom.
See, why they gotta always be putting two bad bitches with each other? Because they know I can't pick.
Well, wait till you get to
I
the
want.
women's side.
I know, but it's like on the guy's side, I'm looking at this, and it's like I need LA Knight to win something. I need him to have something. But at the same time, I also want Finn to win something. I love it when there's two bad bitches who got shit to prove. I guess is the
Mm,
best way to say it. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be my hard one to pick. But for this other one, um, I don't want. Okay, I know this might seem like a cop out. For the other one, I want anybody but Seth to win.
I don't think Talatonga's going to win at all. So I think it's
I
going to come
I
down
mean
to Saints and Evans. I do think Nicole's right about that.
I don't. I'm not saying that Seth doesn't need King of the Ring,
Well,
but
he
it's like
doesn't.
I get it. He doesn't,
He
and it's
doesn't.
just like somebody who actually fucking deserves it. Give it to Finn Balor because y'all are doing him some fuck ass shit with that whole Judgment Day thing, and then you move him over to SmackDown. This needs to be a fresh start. So the last thing, if Finn wins, this Dominic versus Finn thing needs to be the last thing they do for a while. They need to get
Dominic,
Finn on.
well, they won't meet unless Dominic wins his side of the bracket and Finn wins his side of the bracket. They won't
I know.
fight.
I'm thinking out loud. You know how my brain is sometimes. So I either want I want anybody but Seth to win. God, I'm sorry, Ellie. I need Finn to win this. I need Finn Balor to get some shit behind him. I know that sounds horrible. I'm sorry, LA.
I I'm gonna say I don't think Rollins is gonna win at all because Braun Breaker is gonna make sure of it. He's gonna make sure he doesn't. I don't think Talatonga is ready to do any of that. So I think that he's automatically out. And I do think that it will become down to Javon Evans and Ricky Saints. And I think Ricky Saints is going to steal it. I think that Javon is going to look like he's going to win, and then Ricky's going to sneak in and get the pin and steal it from Javon. Further pushing that boy to start losing his smile and just be a whole ass villain out here in these streets.
I don't want Javon to do that, man.
It's
It's just
coming.
like,
It's coming, dude.
did you see? I don't mean to go off, but it's like, have you seen like the impact of like Javon and fucking Trick and a lot of like the new like class of wrestlers who are black have been having on the younger generations for kids?
Of
Have
course.
you been seeing? Like, it's so. I sent something into the group chat, and it was this little boy. I think it was his 5th birthday party or something like that, where he came out as Trick. It was a WWE themed birthday party. He came out as fucking Trick Williams, like the theme song. He was spinning, like all that shit. It was so fucking cute.
That's
And it's
awesome.
just like you see, and he even commented under it. He told him like happy birthday, and I was like, oh my god, if Trick Williams said that to me, I'd probably die. Like you couldn't tell me shit for the rest of the day. But I just fuck man. I don't know. I don't want him to turn heel. He's such a good guy, and I love him so much.
It's coming.
Nephew from a second marriage. I love him so much.
Oh my
I don't want
god.
him to go back. That's the only way I can call him
Well,
nephew. Like shit.
I don't think that Rollins is winning, like I said, because I think Breaker is going to cost him his opportunity. And then it comes
He's
down to
fucking.
Evans and Saints. I do think that Saints is going to take it over Javon. I don't think Javon's going to win, mainly because Javon is going to be put back on Penta, and that situation has yet to be resolved. And Ricky could advance even if he doesn't win. It won't hurt him. As far as the lower bracket is concerned, I do think it will come down to Balor and Jey Uso, but I think LA Knight may cost Jey Uso that simply because he doesn't want the bloodline to advance in any capacity. I also think LA Knight will be turning heel very soon. It seems to be that way, which worked. LA's been a face for a while. But
That's when
anyways,
he does his. That's when
yeah,
he
he
does
does
his best work.
best work. Yeah.
Heel.
We need another heel anyway. We need somebody we can really hate on. And LA's got the chops, so we'll see how it works. However, it's interesting how Sammy wasn't in the King of the Ring tournament. Everybody else was in it, but Sammy wasn't in the tournament. I thought that was interesting. But we are moving on because we have the women ladies. Okay. So they decided to
The
do
win.
the right side of the bracket this time instead of starting off with the left. It's my right because I'm sitting and facing it. So you're, you know what I mean. Anyways,
Why does
on
soccer have
the
my ear?
women's side, you have Roxanne Perez, Io Sky, Julia, and Lash Legend. They all competed on Monday Night Raw last Monday. Io advanced. Then this past Friday, to my surprise, punk ass Raquel was able to best Bailey, JC Jane, and fuck ass Kiana. Now I was sure that JC
Yes,
Jane's
Keon.
special ass was going to advance in this tournament, but she did not. Ultimately, it came down to where you placed when everybody was doing their little finisher. And because JC Jane was the last one to hit, I think it was Bailey with she hit her with a spinning forearm, I believe it is. She
Mm-hmm.
got laid out by Raquel, and they went on ahead and pinned Kiana, and Raquel was the one who advanced. Now, Raquel will face off against Io Sky in the semifinals. But on the other side of the bracket, you have Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, and you have Chelsea Green, who are all competing in the Queen of the Ring tournament for Monday. And then on Friday, you're going to have Soul Ruka, Lyra Valkyria, Charlotte Flair, and Jade Cargill competing for the Queen of the Ring tournament. You know that Jade Cargill is the current reigning Queen of the Ring tournament champion. So I'm going to ask you the same question. You got the 8 women on the other side. Who do you think is going to advance to the semifinals? Nicole, who you got?
Um, for the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be Jade.
Really?
Yes. Because I feel like there's no reason for Lyra. Well, I don't know. They might be doing her a salad because she got really far the last Queen of the Ring tournament.
She
But I feel
did?
like there's no reason for her. Soul does not need to be doing this. So I don't think she'll get pinned. I think she'll just be outside. There's no reason for her to get that far in this as well since she just became champion.
Mm-hmm.
Um for up front, I hate to say it. I think Liv, but
Yep.
like I said with Jay, she ain't getting past that.
I think she's gonna make it all the way to the end.
I think, but something's gonna happen with her and Raquel. Something's gonna happen. Like some's
Mm-hmm.
this it's
Or
weird. Like
Roxanne.
some weird shit's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, Roxanne did not show up Friday on SmackDown with everybody, and Liv made a point to make it sound like Roxanne was just in a corner soaking somewhere because she lost. But she keeps making it out to be that she's going to be the one to be Queen of the Ring with her and Dom wearing their crowns. And the girl that even went and got her shit so that it was fitted so she can have her shit ready to go because she just knows that she's going to win. She keeps trying to push it off that Raquel could win, but in the back of her mind, she don't want Raquel to win, and she glad Roxanne didn't win. Now, Alexis,
Hmm.
you can pick one and a backup. So, who you think is gonna win? Do
Okay.
you think it's gonna be? You got 4
Um,
in the top bracket, 4 in the bottom bracket.
in my opinion, there's two people in the top bracket that shouldn't even be in this damn thing. So
Oh
I'm gonna go with
Lord.
Chelsea. Chelsea's gonna be my dark horse this time pick because I think being Queen of the Ring would be a perfect thing for her for a while. Um, I don't know because she has to stand on her own unless Piper comes back, and they can make her like the ultimate baby face, like out of anybody who brought down, say like Raquel beats Io. Chelsea Green's the one that caused the Judgment Day to finally break up. I think that would be fucking hilarious for some shit. Is she probably gonna win it? No, but this is my pick, so I'm gonna pick who I want to pick. Now on the bottom bracket here, I'm going with my girl Soul. I think what's going to happen is Jade and Charlotte are going to be too busy with each other, and it's going
Hmm.
to focus more on, because here's what I'm thinking. Again, I've just been watching wrestling and clips, but Lyra's kind of finally gotten her footing on the main roster. I think this is going to, Charlotte and Jade are going to have their own thing going on. They're going to be too busy. They're going to be dealing with each other. I think Soul and Lyra are going to put on a solid fucking match, again, to showcase Soul and to have people stop sleeping on Valkyria, because people are still mad she won that women's IC title. And it's like, yeah, that's been like a fucking year. Can you get over it, please? Like, y'all wanted Becky Lynch to win, but y'all bitch when Becky won. So, I mean, again, wrestling fans can't have anything good. But I think down to the wire, I'm going with Soul, as I think Soul's going to. It would be so funny if Soul beat Liv for payback for what she did at Royal Rumble. She goes up against Raquel, and Liv costs Raquel Queen of the Ring. I mean, like, does Soul need it? No. But I think if her or Chelsea was the one who helped, like, really took down Judgment Day, because Judgment Day cannot keep going. It's you click under a video and it's like, when are they breaking up? When are they breaking up? Like, every comment except, like, I want to say 5 out of 6 comments. When are you guys breaking up? Okay, reel it in. We're bored. Blah blah blah. That kind of stuff, right? I think it would be
Mm,
so funny. I want Soul to win, but I think it would be so fucking funny if it was Chelsea. I'm going with Chelsea or Soul. Like, that's what I'm going with. One is for the LOLs. The other one is because pure driven storyline. That's it.
all right. So the girls have made their picks. I think Liv Morgan is going to win. I really do. Unless Roxanne does something crazy, I don't think Liv Morgan is losing. I think she's going to win. This bottom bracket is tricky because Charlotte and Jade have real heat with each other. Not real heat, but like, kayfabe heat. And then Soul and Lyra will probably have heat as well because Lyra and Soul are having their Intercontinental Championship match on Monday. And Lyra is
Mm,
not Soul for that title unless Becky does something to cost Soul that title. I don't see Lyra beating her for that championship. She just got it. So I am going to go with, it's a toss up, but I don't think Jade Cargill is going to advance here. I don't. Now, Nicole might have a point because they have gone 1-1 with Jade and Rhea, and Rhea technically has beaten Jade twice. But if she wins Queen of the Ring back to back, she will be able to compete against Rhea one final time and try to take that championship back from her.
Which I wouldn't even be mad at Jade winning Queen of the Ring a second time.
I just don't want Liv winning. Anybody but Judgment Day people.
I'm.
That's for who
I
it's
keep
for.
dropping this water bottle. Oh, fucking Stanley's.
But
Oh,
Girl,
I
you got a Stanley.
low
it's
key
a
want
fake
Charlotte
Stanley,
to advance. I want
Oh,
her to
and
advance.
it's an easy way for me to make sure post surgery I get my
Your water intake.
water intake.
Hmm. I really
that's
want
fine. I'm
Charlotte to
just
be
busting.
Queen of the Ring at least once, but I know it's not going to happen this year. So I'm not mad at Jade, the pick for Jade, but I would say
Because
it's
Charlotte
between,
does need to
yeah,
win a Queen of the Ring.
yeah,
Like,
I
there's,
agree.
Yeah,
like, you can't
before
have,
she.
that's
Can't call her
crazy.
Queen and not let her at least have the title for it officially.
Yeah.
Um,
For real.
so I
That's like Ric Flair not being like King of the Ring or some shit. It's just
it
wonky.
should be
Like,
inevitable.
you
You should
just
do it.
sometimes the low hanging fruit is the fruit you should pick.
Yeah,
I
this is
think
one of those low hanging fruits.
I agree. I
I
don't know. This
I think
bottom bracket is a
honestly,
little tricky. So
Yeah, it's wonky, but
I'm
I'm
not
really
sure.
sticking with Jade though.
Would I be mad about it? No, because you'd have a solid story with Jade and you could just go with it. And Rhea can be overconfident going into that. And, they can make all of that shit work, right? But I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I'm
I
gonna
think
say it's between Lyra and Jade for me. I'm gonna leave it at that for the bottom bracket, but I 1000% believe that Liv Morgan is winning and she's gonna advance and get to the finals in this particular tournament as well. Something just tells me that that's what's going to happen because they shouldn't have put her in the tournament in the first fucking place. But that's neither here nor there. So
so.
for now,
I have a question. I have a question for you then, because you want Liv to go all the way because you're for the messiness. I know you way
I
too
don't
much.
actually. I don't want her in the tournament at all because I feel like they can do Judgment Day storyline without this, but they're choosing to add her in here because they don't have anything for her to do. So I don't want
Well,
her in
she
there.
can.
But something about her placement in there tells me that this is gonna be a storyline that's gonna lead to SummerSlam, and this is gonna be problematic amongst the group because she's gonna advance and the rest of the girls aren't. And
Mm,
that's gonna be the problem. So, and she's not gonna care. She's
so
gonna be so excited for herself. She's just gonna be looking at them like, "Why are y'all mad? Like one of us got in, so it shouldn't matter." And that's the problem. It's always you because it's only about you. But like I said, they could have did this without the fucking tournament. They didn't have
well,
to do
here's
it in the
what.
tournament.
Them motherfuckers are having a ball in Europe. If since we're on the topic,
Oh yeah,
I
you know
Mhm.
they
feel
are.
like a lot of people, and this is gonna sound real shady. A lot of people who don't show up to work every week happen to be on this European tour.
Bitch, I would be. I'll tell you that right fucking now. You
I
want to
mean,
pay for me to go to?
facts. I was like,
Yeah,
y'all don't come on. Like I'm looking at people like people who are actively like not on TV. Like, why are you there? I know why
because
you're
they said
there, but it's
they
funny.
pay to go to France.
It's just really funny, like the schematics because I'd have been like dead ass, and that's why I hate. That's why when those freaking which contract would you pick bonus, and then everyone was like, oh, you're a fucking loser, you picked the jobber, like the jobber one for WWE. This is that jobber contract.
For real. Like, you want to pay for me to go to Europe, and even though I'm not at the house shows, you still want me on backup in case someone gets injured? Okay. Like,
So
I ain't gonna argue on that. For real. I'll get. I already got my bags packed. When do you need me to get to the airport?
it's just all of it is just so WWE in general is just so funny to me. Like it's just so just everything
They're
about them is
messy
just so comical.
because they're so goddamn messy. That's why. When it comes down to it, they're just fucking messy.
Yeah, it's just a mess.
Ugh. Well, I found my earrings I was looking for, and one of them's broke. Fucking wonderful. Okay. Tiff, are you there? Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
she's
she's
muted.
muted.
She'll be back.
All right.
But yeah, just all of that is just like so strange to me. So it's just
I mean, you know what? I'm be a fucking jobber because, like I said, you're gonna pay for me. Have you seen how much it costs to fucking fly to France nowadays, or Ireland, or anything like that?
Yeah,
Fuck,
especially
I
since
want
we don't got since especially since you don't got Spirit Airline or is there I this like article came out in like my very painful haze of me post procedure and I
to.
saw that like Red Bull I was seeing these random articles pop up that Red Bull bought Spirit.
I did not see that,
Yeah,
and
so
I haven't
I
heard.
don't know how actual factual that is. Oh, that rhymed. Um someone could use that for something actual factual but
No, that'd be
it's
fucking
just
hype if
yeah but that's what I'm saying like it's so fun it's just so funny. I just think the state of like a WWE star now is so uppity compared to what it was like 10 years ago which that's what I think I was getting at when I don't think I finished elaborating when I brought
Hmm.
this up in the group chat is just how it's just funny. It's just like how they're presented now is really funny. Um or it's just how they move throughout the world. Like everybody's wearing fucking designer. It's not just like cuz I felt like back I'm not going even back in the day, but I'm even talking about like the probably like the Divas era and shit like that. Like
Mhm.
during like that point in time.
They were
And
wearing
I'm
fucking
thinking, yeah,
designer
like these
knockoffs
they're
Amart and
wearing
Walmart.
dots.
So they weren't making no money.
Yeah,
Yeah, these bitches
yeah.
we're wearing dots and we're wearing freaking all sorts of shit.
Damn, I ain't
And
heard
Kmart
dots in
and
forever.
all these bitches, everybody got these girl lady. I
Fashion
was like,
rug.
I forgot who it is. I saw some they had a Birkin. Mind you,
A Birkin.
I don't really like Birkins.
I don't
And for the
either.
fact that people don't I just think honestly it's an ugly purse low key and
It is.
I only like the big Birkins, like I only like luggage Birkins. That's the only
Mm.
time Birkins are cute to me. But as a whole, oh
That's
my god, this and oh, Maxine, you gotta do something with your man, bitch. I'm sorry. It's really crazy at NXT what he's doing and not
Hard
doing.
to tell 'em.
Um, but where was I go? Yeah, everyone has on fucking yeah. I saw. It's like I was like, why do you have a Birkin? Like, these bitches got
Stone Cold.
Birkin. Everybody, and if you look on like and look on these pages, like what are they wearing?
The
Everything is
wrestling pages.
designer. Why
Yeah.
are you wearing designer every fucking on TV?
Yeah.
They come to
You
there
be on
now.
TV for
Like,
10 minutes. Why is that? Why do you have Gucci Resort on? Well,
no,
how did
because
you
they be
get
like,
Gucci Resort?
Stone Cold looked like he literally waited to the last minute, and then he went to Walmart in the hunting section and bought every like camouflage pants he could, like camouflage jacket or hat.
And
He
mind you,
had
that's
the,
tragic.
yeah, yeah. But it's like you had The Rock saying he was wearing. I'm really gonna date myself here. You have The Rock saying he's wearing $500 fucking Versace shirts. Bitch, that shirt came from Godzooks. Do not try me, because my brother had the same one in his closet. Do not try me on that shit, Rock. Like, anybody remember Godzooks, or
Oh,
was it
he used
just
to
my white?
love, and that I was like, damn well. Oh my god, Rock used to piss me off with that, with his fake designer stuff that he used to act like was real.
You know what my one of my ex boyfriends said? He goes, he bought that shit out of someone's trunk. And I thought that was the
Fair
funniest
enough.
fucking thing for like.
Well, 100%. But yeah, it's just too. It's too much. It's like why does everybody wearing designer? And it's not even just the women. It's the men. It's everybody. Everybody got a fucking. They got Rolexes on. Every
Hmm.
Yeah,
they got low like we're wearing loafers. They got name brand or wearing name brand workout gear. Name brand. I'm like, what is this?
Ain't nobody normal.
I,
Not no one.
then oh,
Like, who are you people? Like,
Nobody's
you're fucking
normal.
your carnies.
Right.
And it's like fucking gypsies, low key. And I don't mean that derogatory.
uh,
I love gypsy shit. and I don't, whatever you guys want to identify yourself again, I'm not calling this but I'm talking about like as it pertains to like the big fat American Gypsy and blah blah and all those shows and shit. That's
Mhm.
literally what they're doing.
And can I be honest? Because this is someone from coming from someone who's not a designer label girly. Like most of that shit they be wearing is ugly as fuck too.
Ooh,
I be like, you spent how much on that? Like that the fucking watch The Rock was wearing at the Met Gala. I'm okay with showing, you work hard, you buy yourself something nice, okay? You guys can understand I grew up in a white collar fucking, you know, family. You bust your ass, you buy yourself something nice, but you buy yourself something nice that's gonna look tasteful and classy and never gonna go out of style. My dad still has the same fucking Rolex he bought 40 fucking years ago. And it's still going. He kept that shit in perfect condition. And The Rock comes out and he's got like fucking diamonds and shit all on his wrist. It looks gaudy as fuck.
don't none of them
I don't
niggas
like
buy that shit. They borrow it.
It's
I
crazy.
know. I'm
It
just using.
is. It's like gypsies.
Hmm.
They're literally
I mean,
they're all just gypsying up now.
look, I got crow brain just like the rest of people. When I see something shiny, I'm like, ooh. But it's at the same time, I need it to look like it's not going to go out of style in 5 years if I'm going to pay a shit ton of some money for it.
And it's
My
That's
not
just
even
me.
pocket watching because I think that's lame and corny. I'm not even telling you how you should spend your money. And I love fashion. I love clothes. I love
Mhm.
that. It's the fact that they're all like, where you
Everybody's
got, I
doing it.
know where you got that from without 10, not even 3 seconds looking at your outfit. I should not know exactly where you got that from.
Like some of them be wearing
When I,
shit right from the runway. And you be like,
mm-hmm,
I just saw that on the runway.
And I'm also wondering, what connection do you have?
But they gotta
for
have a
real.
stylist to do it. And that stylist gotta be really connected on some Law Roach type shit to pull it from the runway and get it for you.
And most
Because
brands work
it's
their
Charlotte.
stylists. They won't just
There's
anybody.
somebody, it's somebody else and it's random.
I don't know.
Who is
Star is
it?
not working with
It
21.
is
She got a
one of them is
different,
Charlotte, but there's someone else and it's weird.
she
Like,
got another stylist, but she been looking. I love Charlotte's outfits
who
lately.
is it? It's gonna piss me off. And when I mean it's random, like it's somebody. Oh, it's Tiffany.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
No,
believe
there's a lot of
Tiffany,
things I'm like, "Oh, how did you get that?" Because
some
what
of
her
Tiffany's
thing
stuff she worked with
is,
Troy, if I recall.
I think she has another stylist too, because she gets a lot of stuff, and this is also why I love Maddie's style from well, I'm the fucking fork in kitchen. Maddie's style in Euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like and I believe like Tiffany in real life probably does as well because I think like a lot of her
She
like
mimicked a lot of it.
yes, and this is
Mm-hmm.
even this is like her outside of this is her outside the ring because she dresses differently like outside than when it pertains to her character.
Mm-hmm.
Like so like significantly different, surprisingly. But yeah, she's a very like like this new brand of like Gen Z. I don't want to say yeah, I want to say essentially like it girls who are really circling back to that vivacious, like scandalous runway looks from like the early 90s, like
But
Mm-hmm.
you want to know?
like the vintage
Vintage Chanel.
vintage like Gianni Versace,
Yeah.
not
Not
Versace specifically, like Gianni Versace, like
Like
old
low key
like
Mugler.
Roberto,
that's
like
that's
when Roberto Cavalli was really in his bag.
Old school Cavalli.
not
Yeah.
even
Yeah, like
that's the fashion houses. You know what's coming back in style now, which I thought we would never fucking see again. Ed Hardy, fucking Juicy Couture, Von Dutch,
I
I
knew it
low
was
key
coming
am
all
back in
happy
style because
about
that
the
shit was
Juicy
lit.
Couture because I
That
love
shit
me a
was lit.
matching
I
sweatsuit.
don't
Yeah.
give a fuck.
And it's
Yeah,
one of those
I'm
things
sorry.
where you can, especially while traveling,
You
it's
can
something
wear it.
where you can look put together but still be really comfortable
Hmm.
and not
I
feel
couldn't
like
do it.
a slob, because that's what happens, especially if you're traveling like a significant distance, and
Yeah.
and sometimes you're not able to like fully get into your hotel right away or check into your resort or X, Y, and Z, and you have to like mosey around where the fuck you're at. And that's something that, even though you were in like on a plane for 8 hours or a car for X whiles, like you still don't feel like a schlup going somewhere
Right.
in the meantime that you
Plus,
weren't
you can
really
have a
like
little
playing,
park
like
on.
you're okay with being in like a restaurant or like going to the mall or something before you get to fully like settle in.
I just can't do juicy on the ass. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. The
I
I
shit looks
love
love
it.
nice.
juicy couture.
I love it.
I
I
But
love
yeah,
it.
that shit,
yeah.
but that baddie, but that's what I'm saying. I'll see Tiffany. It was Tiffany had a vintage like Chanel shirt, and I said, "Oh, who?" I said, "You got stylists."
Hmm.
Because someone
And
had,
the
I
thing
said, that's because once I start seeing you in shit that I know someone had a look for, I'm like, okay, what's going on over here?
no, and most of them, those style houses. I know this. I mean, everybody fucking knows it. They don't work with just anybody either. I mean, they are most of those fashion houses are those. If they lending something, they're really picky on who they lend shit out to. Looking at you,
But if
Ripley's.
you get a good
Fucking lend that
stylist,
shit.
they can. A good stylist can get them clothes. They can get, especially if they feel like they have a particular level of star
Yeah,
power. And if we're being honest, WWE superstars, they be having hundreds of thousands of followers. A lot of them got millions of followers, and they have a lot of influence, especially over women in wrestling. People don't really, I don't think people really think about that profit margin in wrestling when it comes to women, their influence in wrestling, and how that can work and translate into sales for their companies. If I was a company
Mm-hmm.
and I had something that catered to women, no problem at all. I would hit up as many of those superstars as possible. I would go through whatever channels I had to because it's an untapped market.
But like
yeah,
also like just to break kayfabe with this, when you like, this is why I don't really have a problem with Liv as a person, or like when you talk to somebody and they're like, oh, like Trick said it too. When they were growing up, they really didn't have a lot of money, and they were basically in survival mode and all this stuff. So when I see Liv having like a garage full of shoes and Trick coming out there looking fucking nice with like a fucking him and Lash having matching fucking iced out necklaces and shit like that. Like I don't mind that because that's where you are because you worked your ass off to get it. But like I don't know, some of that shit you gotta be careful when you wear it though because I don't know, it just I don't want to say tacky, but I don't know. But if I start seeing Juicy Couture shit on wrestling, I'll be like, I'm fucking done.
I
I'm
love
so
Juicy
fucking
Couture. I don't care.
can't do it. I
I
can't. I
yeah.
can't.
love
But
Juicy Couture.
also, a lot of but also a lot of those vintage stuff, especially from like the night, especially a lot of '90s era stuff.
Mm.
A lot of those houses, you have to go through vintage shops.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Consignment shop.
a lot of those 90s items, like especially those type of dresses, because bitches was really out here looking good back then and wearing those dresses, like
Those
especially
Alaya
like in the
dresses.
heyday. Yes, like
Mm-hmm.
all those 5 million, like the Carolyn Bessettes and all those other type of women, like there was really baddies in the streets wearing those
Yep.
outfits. So a lot of those are all, they're like in cycle. So
Mm-hmm.
like
Yep.
there's something, and there's also this weird statistic, like there's more, like more Birkins get sold on the secondary market than they do out of the actual Birkin stores.
Oh, I can fucking tell you that right now because my mom's cousin used to be a purse collector. She doesn't do it as much as she used to anymore because the economy on that shit's kind of crashed really, really bad. But she said that people, if you, because her, it wasn't Birkin, but it was Coach. But she said if you keep a bag like pristine, like it looks like you've never used it, even though you've probably used the hell out of this thing. But people will buy it secondhand if it looks new. And even if it's beat to shit, people will still buy it because they know the quality of the bag is also going to outlive the name brand. Because Coach purses can go through hell and back and they will still be sturdy as fuck to use.
Well, Coach luckily is having a moment. I
Mm.
low key, I'm slightly saving for a Coach purse. Um,
Mhm.
because I did see some like on eBay, but the eBay prices aren't really that far off from like the
The
website. So I
resellers.
think
Mhm.
yeah, so I was like I think I'm just going to wait till like Dillard's or someone has like a good sale and
Old Outlet does really good with
get
sales.
yeah, or the outlet too. That
Hmm.
was another thing. So that's why I was like, but yes, Coach, their bags, especially I'm gonna show you like the Coach tabby bags are
So
so
good.
chic, and
They're
I
so
think they're
Oh,
good.
I'm
so much better than like the quilted Chanel's. Like I
Yeah. I love good
so like,
Chanel
and
bags.
here's the cool thing. You can go like into stores now. You can go into like Ross. I think I told Tiff this. But you can go into like Ross, Marshalls, Bell's, kind of like those discount boutique places. You know, if they don't sell in the store, that's where they go.
Hmm.
I went into Bell's yesterday because we're going on a family vacation, and I want to do a big shout out to my husband, who I absolutely love and adore. He has lost 42 pounds. We started dieting. He's lost 42 pounds and keeps going. So he needed to buy some new clothes. So I'm very
know
proud of him for
that's
that.
right.
So hang on, just disconnect from my Bluetooth. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So we went there and he was trying to find him some new clothes because he's into. I'm very appreciative of him wearing those. Um, and I went there. They have Kate fucking Spade bags in Bells, and I mean they're still pretty like expensive, but like $2.99 for a bag that was originally $500. That's
Yeah, you're
actually
gonna
like
find
Daryl's
a
like,
lot of Kate Spade stuff there. No shade.
yeah, but like I told Daryl's like that's still expensive. I said this is a Kate Spade bag. Trust me, this is a fucking deal. And I don't even like that lady because I thought her, and this is no shade to her. I hope she's okay. On the other side, her designs were kind of basic for me, but there's been a couple of Kate Spade bags where I'm like, holy shit. And then I look
I
at the
like
price of
some
it.
of Kate Spade's bags.
I
I bet
like
she has
Kate
some
Spade
cute
bags.
bags.
I
Yeah.
think, and I like how they're simple.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, honestly, that's why I don't like Birkin bags because I
Because they're
feel
too
like
much.
I think they're an overly expensive Kate Spade bag,
Mm-hmm.
and the quality is probably not that far off,
And we
to be
already know they
honest.
come from China, and then they send it to Italy to
Yeah,
get the label sewn in, which is so disrespectful.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I never understood the Birkin hype. I do like the row bags. I do understand that. I do understand the
Hmm.
nonsense with the row bags because I think those are actually very. I think those are way better than
The
Birkins, to
Birkin
be
bags to
honest.
me, just the shape of them is what's making it what makes it look
I feel
odd
like
to me.
what it's like. I feel like you can't put anything in them unless they're huge.
Yeah, they got to be big for you to be able to keep stuff in it. Because them small Birkins ain't even worth the time or the effort.
No, none
And
of them are. I
I
feel
don't
like
get it.
the little baby looking ones. I feel like you can
Hmm.
fit the same amount of ones into most of them until you start getting in the big ones.
I'm an avid purse collector. I love handbags. But I do not buy designer mainly because I know I could tear a bag up. Now I do. My favorite design house was Dooney and Burke. It still is. I love a good Dooney and Burke bag. It's really affordable for it to be a designer style bag. It's not super expensive to where you can't get it if you got a nice little bump in your check, but it ain't gonna break you if you decided to buy one. They have classic Dooney and Burks. You know, they have stuff that you can purchase that are simple, but they also have the deals that they did with Disney where they got the Disney bags, all kind of stuff. So I was very partial to Dooney and Burke bags, and I got about three or four of them because AJ he buys me a bag every year for Christmas. If it's not Dooney and Burke, it's Loungefly, and I think I have like six. I have six Loungefly bags, and they're all just unique, and I just really like them. So I love a good handbag. I want to get a Chanel bag, but I don't mind admiring it from afar since I can't afford it. My father buys the Chanel book bags, and he's an avid shopper, and he loves him a luxury bag. He got a nice little satchel Chanel bag that he wears when he goes out. My daddy don't give a shit. He just he see the bag, he
Mm-mm.
gonna buy it. He like, that's my bag. That's a good bag. I'm gonna get that. He got a Chanel book bag, that Chanel satchel in there. You know, the little, it look like a little fanny pack, but it's a cross bag, and it's just real small. I said, do
See,
you,
I love
daddy?
me a good. I love me. Your dad's got good taste, man. If you got, look, showed us shoe collection the day that he still has. If I was a
Mm-hmm.
guy, I'd be asking them shoes from your daddy. But
But
I
I mean,
love me
they, I feel like if
message
they're
across.
gonna buy, if they're gonna buy themselves a bunch of, stuff, and they're dressing very high end, and they have the money to afford it, and we can say with confidence that WWE is paying the superstars, at least the ones that we've seen, they're being compensated for their efforts. We'll say that. Now, since we've been on here for 2 hours, we're gonna round this out with AEW stuff, okay? Because the Owen Hart tournament is underway, and their brackets were a little bit smaller, so we didn't have a lot going on. But currently, the men are working their way out of the semifinals to the finals. Swerve Strickland is supposed to be facing off against Brody King. Now, I'm not sure if he's already faced off against him or not. Nicole, do you know if Swerve beat Brody King or not?
I don't remember.
Hmm.
I'll have to
I
rewatch it because I fell asleep. Also, sorry to everyone. I have been watching AEW consistently, but I also am a weekish out from surgery, so there's things that blend together. I
okay.
remember watching it. I don't remember who won that match.
Okay. That's okay. It's no biggie. We'll fix it when it needs to be fixed. But it looks like Swerve hasn't had his match with Brody King yet. That is not until next week's Dynamite on
Okay, that's
Wednesday.
what I
So
thought. I was
you
like,
didn't miss anything. So it
maybe I watched it. Oh no, I'm
no.
thinking about that Swerve and that other match.
Mm.
I did
Okay.
watch. Never mind.
So the women's side of the bracket is still coming out of the actual first round into the semifinals. So for the women's side, you have Athena, who is currently waiting for her opponent. She beat Mina, and Sky Blue and Sari. I think that's how you say her name. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. They're going to face off on Dynamite, and whoever wins in that match will face off against Athena in the women's semifinal. Now, the women's semifinal on the other side of the bracket is set. Mercedes Monet defeated Alex Windsor. She advanced. And then Persephone went up against Hazuki on Collision this past Saturday, and Persephone won. And no, Hazuki won. But Mercedes Monet was very upset because obviously Persephone was took her CMLL title from her, and she is the current CMLL champion. So she's a little pissed off. So she attacked Persephone, and Hazuki got involved. So she also attacked Hazuki. It is going to be Mercedes Monet versus Hazuki in the semifinals. And then we will find out who will face off against Athena next week on Dynamite with Sky Blue and Sari. I want to say that's her name. And then you have Swerve Strickland going up against Brody King. So Dynamite's going to make some decisions for you, and then the semifinals will be underway. And then the finals will happen at Forbidden Door on June 28th. Everybody's pay per views are coinciding. It's very, very interesting.
Hmm.
But whoever wins will be the Owen Hart tournament winner. And I believe that gives them a shot at the respective big belts. Am I right, Nicole? Nicole, you
I
there?
think so.
I don't know what happened. I think we lost her. Hold on, you
I
guys.
think it does for sure about that though.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. So I was right. You do get a championship match for the respective world titles. You get an AEW championship match or an AEW women's title championship match. The victors are awarded a large trophy and, of course, the ceremonial Owen Hart Championship belt. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
good luck to everybody. I hope that the matches are well, and it looks like they have some pretty decent storylines within these matches. But speaking of matches, the final thing we're going to talk about are two of some of the best matches that we've seen over the last couple of weeks. So the first one is El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano in AAA. It is a massive match. It goes on for about an hour, and it is one of the most brutal matches I've ever seen, especially in a WWE style setting. From what we hear, Pete Dunne is the one who produced the match, which is kind of cool that he's producing matches now. And this match has been highly regarded. Chad Gable got a resounding reception on Friday Night SmackDown. He is a superstar now because of this particular setup of El Grande Americano. And Ludwig Kaiser is so beloved in AAA. I doubt
It's not
that
even AAA. It's Mexico and
it's just
Mexicans.
he's just
Yep.
loved. He's so beloved that by September, when they have their match, because Dom is going to be defending his title at Triple Mania, I strongly believe that Ludwig is probably going to be your new AAA champion very soon. But with that being said, the match itself was spectacular. It was so good that after Monday Night Raw, they gave an encore presentation to that specific match itself with no commercials, I believe. I believe he was able to watch it commercial free. But they put it on Netflix for you to watch, which is fucking crazy. Anywhoosies, what we got though was a really cool match between two amazing wrestlers. Chad Gable was able to boost himself, and now he's one of the most sought after wrestlers in the company. He's got a massive, massive backing from the fans, and I believe he deserves it. And I hope this leads to him getting a title and having a prominent fixture on television because he's earned it. What do you guys think? Did you guys watch the match? Did you enjoy it? What are your takeaways from it? And where do you see Chad Gable and Ludwig Kaiser going in the near future because of this match?
I just want to start by saying that this is a gimmick that was probably Chad Gable against his he wanted to do because this was probably one of the last things that had Vince's fingerprints on it. Both these men were given shit, and they managed to make chicken salad out of it. Or I think that's how the saying goes, right? You can make shit out of chicken salad or chicken salad out of shit. I don't fucking know, but they fucking everyone hated fucking Chad Gable is such a good heel. He's such a good fucking heel. Like you want to hate his guts. He's basically like Kurt Angle. He's got that goofy ass, you know, guy next, like kind of like the guy next door kind of thing, where you're just like he's a fucking idiot. And then Kaiser pretty much This could have made or break him because they really had nothing to do with for him, and he was like literally maybe one of those guys that we didn't know who was 1 foot out the door from being gone. And it was I caught it in a rerun. This is probably one of the best matches I have ever seen as a wrestling fan in general. Like you had the build up, the emotional build up we had going into this. This was something that was missing from Mania this year with Kaiser, you know, him and his girlfriend, and the fact that they're together in real life is so fucking sweet. And it's like that clip that I sent you guys where Gable had her cornered and Kaiser comes running out of nowhere in a fucking suit and like flies over to rescue her. And it reminded me so much of Mandy and Otis by being its own entity, but because of that emotional, you know, relationship factor to it, it actually made you pay attention and give a shit about that kind of stuff. Um, I've never. I'm getting choked up just thinking about this match. So you know that's why it had such a really big impact. This is the first wrestling match I've seen where it got 5.25 fucking stars as a rating. I've seen 5 stars. Everybody wants that 5-star match, but this was 5.75, and I don't think I've ever seen that. And I'll sum it up because I think I'm going to fucking cry over this match. Like, I'm really trying not to, and I'm sorry. But if these guys do not have a title, whether it's AAA, WWE, wherever, if they do not have a title around their waist by the end of this year, WWE just missed one of their biggest fucking opportunities to have people pay attention to them. Because I was seeing in the comments under clip where this was the only reason people were still watching anything related to WWE. That Taker was kicking ass as fucking, you dip that food over, you're gonna eat it. Sorry, dog. That, you know, Taker is the booker for AAA down there now. And he did a hell of a job on this. And you got Mysterio, who's manager there now. It's like you have two big names in the world of Lucha, and one's from the WWE. And like, I want to know how JBL did not lose his voice screaming the way he did. Fuck, I'm crying over goddamn pro wrestling. Oh, give me a minute.
He probably did the next. He probably did the next day.
No, he did.
Just give me a sec. This match was perfect. Like, this is one of those matches that you'll go back and watch 5 years from now and you'll still be fucking blown away by it. And now I'm gonna go cry over pro wrestling because this was so fucking good. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. It's still real. It was still real to me. Damn it.
Okay, okay. Nicole, how'd you feel about it? Nicole, can you hear us?
Yeah, you can you
Okay.
hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, sorry, this just keeps going in and out. But it was again, like, I won't go too much. I feel like everyone's really covered it. It was a fantastic match. I really do like how they ran an encore on Netflix after Raw, or ran an encore after Raw. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was important and smart.
Yeah.
Um, I think it just goes to show you um what you can do, what someone can do when you just like let them have at it. And this is like wrestling wise and character wise.
Mhm.
Um Chad Gable's version did what it needed it to do. But Ludwig, whatever, did it, but also found a way to not make it his own, but make it something. And I'm being completely honest. I low key think he should retire as that.
I agree.
I, I don't think he needs to. And I'm being dead. And I hate to cover up his face because he has a great face.
He does.
I hate to do it, but for the love of the game, I he I he's I'm sorry. You gotta write it out till you retire.
Unless you're getting your mask tore off too.
Yes. I and it's something that what is so smart ended up being so genius, like, because again, and also this is what made this such like a luchador story, and what really ingrained this into like the culture of it, is that regardless of it created lore of itself, because
Yeah.
that's what luchador, it's all a lot of it is lore and history, and this basically created a lineage and a history. And not only that, you gave an avenue so you can do like El Grande Americano is such a great way to pay homage and to be like of like the luchador or whatever, and to continue it on, is like it should net like and no one Mexican should ever be in that El Grande mask. I
Great.
think it has to be for it's and the way that I think they need to shape the lore, which I feel like this is where they need to go in. It always just has to be some expat who's like, you know what, I really love this stuff over here. I'm just kick it.
Yeah.
I think that it does not need to be passed out familial, which is a lot of like how a lot of the luchador family the families and like lineage get started. A lot of it is families,
Mm-hmm.
like their daddy, grandpa, whatever.
They
I think
pass
what
the
I
mask down.
yes, what I really like about this is that you don't have to do that.
No, somebody can earn it.
Yes. So that's why I also think it's really cool.
I think this match was fun, and the story of it was great. They did a good job of building it. It went old school with the booking of these two, and that's what made it work so well. And I think that when wrestling doesn't take itself so seriously, it can be a fun time. And that was a prime example of that. I know we were very hard on Chad Gable's El Grande Americano because we're not being fair. It was racist. It was. It was. It was
Oh
very
my god,
racist.
that's the most racist shit I see in my entire
It
life.
was. It just was. Like we're not trying to be, disrespectful. We just being honest. It was racist, and even he had to come back and say, "Hey,
It was
like
like, hey,
I was wrong, and I was mad. I was frustrated because I couldn't beat y'all. So I made a mockery of it to make myself feel better and to see what the hype was about. But when I got into it and I understood it's nothing to make fun of. And that part I did love. I did respect that. So shout out to you, Chad Gable. You deserve it. I hope you get whatever you have earned. And WWE, I hope they pay you that and 10 times more because you deserve it. You've been busting your ass since you got here, and you ain't really got much shine, but for everything you done had been through, like you do deserve the opportunity to be able to capitalize on all this love that you're getting for everything that you've done, and for y'all to put y'all bodies on the line the way that you did. And he beat the crap out of Ludwig Kaiser in that match. He beat his ass.
Mhm.
Okay, so respect to you, and I hope you and Ludwig get everything y'all earned because you did great. And both of these characters, we didn't know where Ludwig was going with it, but he turned it into something great. And I agree with Nicole. I think making it a mask that is passed down to expats is smart. That keeps El Grande Americano going. And it makes it cool because now we know what it takes to not only be a luchador, but to be an American luchador at that. So, congratulations. Next match that I love that I want to talk about today was Speedball Mike Bailey's match and Kevin Knight's match. So Kevin Knight has joined the Don Callis
I
family.
actually do recall watching this match. So, this is good for everybody.
Kevin Knight has joined the Don Callis family, and Kevin and Speedball were once partners and champions in AEW. And Speedball is not happy with him joining the Callis family. And this has led to a match between the two men. And when I tell you that that match was fucking phenomenal, it was fucking
Yes.
phenomenal. I loved Speedball Mike Bailey. I knew what he was capable of because I've watched both Mike and Kevin Knight over in TNA. So I knew what they could do. I knew what they were capable of. But to see Kevin on the other side as a villain and to watch them battle it out, it was a sensational match. It was awesome. But since Nicole has a better perspective of it, I'm going to let her tell you about the match and what she thought of it.
Um, I thought the match was great. I was very happy. Kevin won. Also called out MJF. Pimpinella. I love her. I also love that he called out MJF, like not letting him like forget, like, whatever, like you owe me a dance, blah blah blah. But they're wrestling styles. Ooh, are obviously are pretty similar. So I think that's what real which also I think made it a little bit slightly like more interesting. But yeah, the match itself was just phenomenal. And it was also and then it was just also great to see like how Kevin has like slightly switched up certain things that he does like in ring wise to I don't want to say compensate, but to, you know, go with his new persona. I just think there's just so many people in Don Callis family.
There's a lot. But it'll be good for Kevin. You got to let people spread their wings a bit when they're wrestling. Can't let them stay in one place all the time. It's going to be fun. Alexis, did you get to watch the match or did you just see the clips?
I saw the clip that you sent in that
Mm-hmm.
had commentary to it. And to be able to watch this match with no commentary show you that some, and I'm going to start a petition for this, that some matches do not need commentators yelling and screaming and carrying on. And they have to call moves and they have to tell a story. But watch this match with no commentary. Listen to just it, like the two of them wrestling, the crowd's reaction, and the ring sounds. There was no audibles. It was amazing. And it was like you're sitting, to me, watching this match through my phone made it feel like I was actually there watching it in person. Because that's what it is. When you go to a wrestling show, you don't hear the commentators. You hear them hitting that ring, you hear them being kicked.
Yeah.
Speedball is probably one of the best wrestlers out there right now. Kyle, he's still got to grow a little bit from me. I think he's still great. I don't like, and it was such a great match. And the only complaint I had about it is because Don Callis had to stick his head into it, which I get it. I know he's part of the Don. That they got too many people in that damn family. Someone needs to use protect. But
Jake
like,
something's isn't Jake something in the family too, Nicole?
yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it was such a great match to watch. Speedball and Speedball. I've been watching Speedball for the last couple years, and they are absolutely fucking amazing. I don't like the fact that they do not wear shoes. Reason I'm using them they pronouns is that Speedball sees themselves as non-binary. So happy Pride, everybody, by the way. So the only thing I don't like about Speedball is that they don't wear shoes, but I get it because of the karate person. But this is probably one of the best AEW matches I have ever seen. If you haven't watched it, if you can watch it without commentary, watch it without commentary. But go fucking watch this match. It is unbelievable.
Wrestling
They
has
I
really
they
been
do a
good.
lot hooting and hollering on commentary.
Yeah, they do.
It's like, oh my god. And it's mostly, I think it's Tony Schiavone, honestly. Is it Tony or is it Excalibur?
I think it's a mix of both of them because Taz,
One of them Taz actually is decent. The other somebody of the other two need to shut the fuck up. Because I feel like I barely hear Taz, to be honest.
Wow.
I
As usually is
think it might.
I
pretty
mean, he
vocal.
talks, but he like that's what I'm saying. He talks. It's not he. You hear him as much as you should hear him.
Yeah,
Okay. So he knows when to talk and when to be
Yes.
quiet. Okay.
Them other two, it's just yapping. It's like, shut the fuck up. And they're like, John Moxley of the Death Row. I was like, let him fucking go to the shut up.
Wait, so Daniel Bryan isn't on commentary anymore?
No, he hasn't been on commentary since Bree's been back. So I'm assuming
Oh.
he's home with the children.
Good. Good. Go do some daddying.
Exactly. Nigga, you could go home for a little bit. That's what people try to piss me off sometimes when they act with these wrestling couples with kids. Like they act so weird when the mom we're like, oh, that's weird. No, he can stay at home. Bye.
Right.
The amount of years.
Tell it.
can I say something about that?
God forbid Daniel Bryan gotta be mostly at home for the next year and a half.
Hello.
God
Hello.
forbid. God forbid a man stay home with the children and mind the household.
Tell the truth.
Now let me fucking tell you something. I'm the one that, because I can say this because I'm the one here who's had a kid. I carried this little shit for 9 months. I gave up my body. I had to be the one to get back into shape if I'm a wrestler. If not, I had to be the one taking care of a newborn because yeah, they may be able to come home for like a couple, like for a while, but then they got to get back on the road. I'm the one home by myself taking care of this fucking newborn that's screaming and hollering all time of the night. Don't try me, bitch. If I need you to come home and watch the kids so I can go back on TV for a while, you better be wearing a fucking apron and high heels when I come home with a martini in hand. That is the least you can do after the shit I went through for 9 months to a year. Miss me
I
with that
mean, I
bullshit.
will say this, like, I think it's and like and Alexis is right. I agree. My biggest problem with Daniel Bryan was his incessant need to always wrestle when he had built a family with Bree. They were working and he was supposed to retire and be content and he couldn't do it. And he was just going and going and going and
I
going.
don't even want to talk about him. I
So
can't do it.
I don't care about him being at home. I thought that he had like taken some time off commentary for a little while and then came back, but he's at home with the kids. Good. I'm happy that the kids get to see their dad. I'm happy Brie gets to be out on her own. Her sister's not there, so she had to talk about being on her own for a little while because most of the time Nikki's with her. And she's like,
Mhm.
she said maybe it was meant to be because now I kind of get to come into my own without my sister being there. And she loves her sister.
She's never had that
Yeah, she's
luxury.
never had that before. She's never had the opportunity. So it's a good opportunity. It's kind of like what happened with Jay when Jimmy got injured early on in that feud with Roman Reigns. Because it was supposed to be Jimmy that had the actual feud with Roman. It wasn't supposed to be Jay. Because Jimmy got injured, he was out for like a year. So that situation caused him to be off. And that gave Jay the opportunity to be able to be the one pushed forward. And even after they both joined the bloodline and were both out, Jay was the one who got the push. Jay was the one who got the stardom. He's the one who got the belts. So these things happen for a reason. I'm glad that Brie gets to step out on her own and she gets to, decide what she wants to be without her sister and without her husband being around. That's a good thing. You get to, really decide who you want to be. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next time and we'll be talking about, I guess, The rest of the tournaments for the Owen Hart tournament and of course the King and Queen of the Ring tournament and everything else going on in wrestling. If you're tired of WWE, which I know a lot of people are, there is plenty of wrestling out there for you to latch on to. You can watch MLW. It's on YouTube now, so you have no excuse. Everybody has access to YouTube. You can watch AEW, sign up for Ring of Honor's paid app if you want to. If you have HBO Max, Nicole says you can watch AEW on HBO Max if you don't have full on cable. So there's all kinds of ways to skin a cat, ladies and gentlemen, and
That's
actually
low key a game
recommend.
changer. Ain't gonna
No, for
lie.
real. It's
I
over
was
on
like,
HBO
oh, I said
Max.
we're in business.
I said, really? Because I have HBO Max. And I highly recommend
I
that you guys
actually
go over
watched
there.
I didn't watch Collision in real time because I have like no like concept of what day and or time slot Collision goes on because I feel like they change it a lot because
Mhm.
it's all I feel like there's like oh there's some special blocks so Collision's like on Wednesday for like a month. So I
I'm
don't know what day that show comes on. But I watched the but I watched it.
It comes on Saturdays, I believe.
I
Um,
wonder if it was the last week. I'll have to go. After I watch AAA, I'll circle back to that.
Cool. Also, you can watch AAA. AAA comes on Saturdays as well. But sometimes it comes on
hmm
Fridays. Depends. Usually they'll have a show on either day, and when they have something special, it comes on Fridays or Saturdays. Sometimes even Sundays. For Triple Mania, it will be on Friday. They get a day of rest, and then they finish out the rest of the show on Sunday, and that'll be in September. I want to say. It's a lot going on in September. They're already going to be in Mexico for their Mexico tour in September. They'll also be going to New Orleans for Money in the Bank in September as well. And then they will be in Vegas for AAA for the AAA company. They'll be there for the Triple Mania PLE. So you got a lot going on coming down the pike. SummerSlam is going to be in August on the 1st and the 2nd. Then we have Night of Champions on June 27th. And then we have a PLE in July, but I'm not quite sure what it will be. I know they're going to have um, Saturday night main event in July. So that may be their only PLE. And the Great American Bash is coming up for NXT, and this will be the first PLE that they have on the CW network because from here on out, all of their PLEs are going to be on the CW network. So if
huh
you haven't been
neat.
paying attention to wrestling and you're not okay with the main roster content, I do recommend NXT. They are in a little bit of a growing pain, okay, because they had to get rid of some of their top stars and they are kind of resetting things. So with that being said, you're going to have some patience, but it is interesting. They do have some people you should look out for. Lizzie Rain is a top contender to be a megastar in NXT. They also have Zarya, who they're building up for their mid card for right now. They have Naraku, who's formerly known as Evil, over in New Japan. They have Mason Rook, my favorite. I love Mason Rook. I think he's great. And they have so many other people. Their mid card for the men is amazing. They got Jackson Drake. They've got Tate Wilder.
Charlie.
They have PK Prosper. They have Sean Legacy. They have so many guys that will can rise up to that top rank and really create something. So they did a lot of work of building up that men's roster because it was weak for a very long time. And the women, they're always doing great. Lola Vice is your champion. You have Izzy Dane there, which I think Izzy Dane might be moving on very soon, but we'll have to wait and see. You also have Kaylani, who also might be leaving soon, but you've got Kendall. Ren Sinclair is there, and you have Callie Armstrong. You have Jada Parker still there. You've got a whole bunch of other new crops from Evolve and the NIL program and WWEID coming into NXT, and they are resetting that roster with some people who eventually are going to be mega stars. Like I say, if WWE is boring you and you feel like you're not getting what you need, there are other avenues to find what you like. Start with NXT, work your way to MLW, go watch AEW. If you want to pay, watch Ring of Honor, and make sure you keep your eye out for New Japan and all the other wrestling promotions because they will satisfy the wrestling craving that you have. Okay? And with that being said, we're going to leave and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.